So the first thing I want to say is very, very, very important. At least I think it is. I don't care if people agree with me. I don't care if you disagree. I literally don't mind that much at all. I don't care if you have theories around Julian Assange or what's going to happen or what's going on. All of that is obviously fine. I'm not a tyrant. I don't control the media. I don't even have that much sway, to be honest. But here's what's really bothering me about the Julian Assange case, and then we're going to get into it. His mom has a Twitter, and the dude is sick. He's been in an embassy for 7 or 8 years locked up. I don't know exactly how long. And he's been mistreated this last year. I just did an interview with Cassandra Fairbanks, who visited him in the embassy a week or two ago, and he's not well. You know, he's okay, but it's like he's sick. He needs to see a doctor. He's been cooped up, and they've been slowly taking things away from him over the last year. He used to have Wi-Fi during the 2016, 2017. They took his Wi-Fi away. They took his stuff away. There's 50 million cameras everywhere. He can't have guests in privacy anymore. I mean, they've been slowly just trying to make this guy sick. And that's just what it is. I mean, you look at his mom. She's not happy about this. You look at Cassandra Fairbanks, who just visited him. He's not happy about this. You listen to Pamela Anderson, who's been there a bunch of times and knows Julian Assange very well. Yes, that Pamela Anderson actually knows Julian Assange. It's no secret that it's not really great. So what's bothering me is not that people think this other stuff, because I'm going to get into it later. I do think that there hopefully can be a positive element to this, but there's big movements now that are Trump supporters, patriots, and that's fine. I never knock these movements. I make perspectives about them and say, I don't agree with this or I don't agree with that. I do that to conservatives all the time. There's people who watch my video and I say, guys, as a movement, not you, not everybody, I understand, but there's people in this movement that I don't think that this is the best thing that people are doing, and everyone seems to not have a problem with it. But with this Julian Assange stuff, there's tens of thousands of people who are saying that, first of all, he's not in the embassy, and they were saying he's been gone because they took his internet away. No, he's been in the embassy, and they've been mistreating him for a year. I mean, you can of course have your own theory, but just look what's going on. And then you have people who are cheering on the fact that he got arrested because they're following this big movement that's saying Julian Assange is in on it the whole time. Trump's with him. The AG's working for Assange, and it's really great for him. And here's the thing. I'm going to get into it later. I'm not even disagreeing with you on the fact that I think that Assange being arrested and extraditing to the U.S., I do think it could backfire. We're going to get into that. I do think it could go in the hands of Barr and Trump, and it could potentially, hopefully, help Julian Assange as well. I don't disagree, but what I don't like, and that's why I'm starting with this, is the dude is sick. The dude is hurt. Everybody who's seen him, who knows him, who birthed him, they all know this. None of them are happy. None of them are cheering. So it's a little bit sick to me to know that there's millions of people cheering on the fact he got arrested because they think that it's really good for him for sure because they've been following, somebody who's been telling them this stuff. And I want to say this on that note as well. I don't care that people don't agree with me, but I'm starting to realize sometimes it's the people closest to you who do the most damage to you and who will turn on you for a second. I've had supporters that have followed me for 2 years. All my work is very valid. I don't have to do this stuff personally. I make videos on abortion. I've made videos on Trump. I make videos on a lot of different stuff. My work speaks for itself. I don't have a hidden agenda. It's right there. It's very valid. And they're turning on me because I say this stuff. They're like, no, trust me, Assange is healthy and he's happy. And I'm like, guys, I know. I just spoke to somebody who just met him a week ago. His mom has a Twitter. Everyone who knows him says that he's sick. I guess you can believe that, but people want to turn against me. And also, I just want to say with Nipsey Hussle, this is separate, but just to explain to you guys what I'm talking about. This is a rapper from Los Angeles who got murdered, and he's dead. And he was a rapper. He had really great interviews where he's talking about real stuff. You could say, I wonder why he got killed. Is there a motive? I'm okay with questioning things. I'm not the feds trying to shut down your investigation. But I have friends of mine that I really consider, that I trust, that I like and I love. I post about Nipsey Hussle and they message me and they say, Anomaly, you realize that he was an actor, right? He was all an actor. This was all fake. He's an actor. He was never real. And I'm like, why do you think that? I'm curious. And then they show me this meme of his name being added up to numbers and letters. And it's like, this letter is this number, this number is this letter. And it's this ancient mystery that means he's an actor. And I'm like, guys, I'm not trying to be mean or confrontational, but This dude just got murdered one way or another, whether you think someone was in on it, somebody wasn't, it was his own boy, it wasn't his own boy, it was random, it was a mixtape dude. Like, he's not an actor. He's a real rapper, he's a real person, and it's disgusting to me that somebody gets killed and then people want to act like he was never real to begin with. I don't mind if you look into who the shooter was. I don't care if you think that Julian Assange is maybe eventually going to help Trump. Like, that's fine, but the dude is sick. And you have millions of people cheering him on, saying that he's not in the embassy or that he's working on this insider thing that he's really happy about. He's not happy about it, guys. So it's just sick to me. And the reason I say this to start, I'm sorry for taking up your time. This is the type of people who are going to turn against me, even now. Anomaly, you're an actor. Anomaly, you're a patriot. You're getting paid. Anomaly, you're this. Anomaly, you're a Zionist. You're working for Israel. Anomaly, you're anti-Semitism. Anomaly, you sold out. Anomaly, you're a white nationalist. Anomaly, you hate white people. Anomaly, you're this. Like, guys, it's becoming so insane. I don't even, like, the reason I haven't done a lot of videos, yes, I've been busy. I've taxes and stuff. I'm not having fun anymore. I'm just going to be honest. My life is great. I'm not sad or depressed or anything. I'm fine. This is not fun for me. Everything I say, I get attacked. And these same people that want to say that Julian Assange is really happy when he's gravely ill and possibly going to be prosecuted or, coerced into murder, it's those same people that are cheering that on that'll turn and stab me in the back in a second and call themselves patriots and friends of mine. So I'm kind of over it. Like, it's like, yeah, I'm going to do work. Obviously, I'm going to make more videos, but like, this isn't fun anymore. Like, it's like everything I say, it gets misconstrued. Everybody lies. The people that act like they're your biggest friends will turn on you in a second. They'll ignore all information. They'll call you an actor. They'll say you're not there. They'll say you're not real. You're a hologram. Like, what's the point when Julian Assange's biggest supporters won't even listen to his mother and people who met him? It's really insane. And same with Nipsey Hussle. It's kind of disgusting. On that note, let's get into the Julian Assange thing, because I want to talk about what's going on, what they're saying, and also how I agree with some people on an extent. I do think that this could backfire on the deep state and the people who want him arrested the most. So what's going on with Julian Assange? He now faces U.S. federal conspiracy charges. He got dragged out of the embassy early this morning. The UK police dragged him out. The Ecuadorian embassy, if you guys don't know, it's kind of hard to follow. It's the Ecuadorian embassy in England. So that's where he was. He's facing possible U.S. extradition because it's the United States that want him. So Ecuador listened to the U.K., who's listening to the U.S., and maybe someone else. They dragged him out, and he's known this. This is not a secret to him. He said for a while now, if he gets dragged out of the embassy, that he's probably going to face extradition to the United States. So this is not a theory that he knew this. According to the paper, and basic reality, WikiLeaks was founded in 2008. The organization hit headlines 4 years later when it released footage of U.S. soldiers killing civilians from a helicopter in Iraq. Julian Assange is also an award-winning journalist. He's won multiple awards from ex-CIA members. I think it's called the Sam Award. He won the Sydney Peace Prize, and he was even nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, I believe, in 2011. He was very, well-loved and well-respected because a lot of the stuff he does. Here's the thing I'm going to say, too. I understand I have veteran friends who love Julian Assange, people who are combat veterans who love Julian Assange. I'm sure there's lots of veterans who hate Julian Assange and they hate Bradley and Chelsea Manning. That's fine. I'm not saying that it's otherwise. You're entitled to your perspective. I'm just saying he, there's awards that he's won and he's done some good work to expose the war crimes of the United States. And a lot of this stuff, like Julian Assange, and we're going to get into it because I get there's nuance to it. If you start the war, there's no penalty. If you're the worst person, from Jussie Smollett to George Bush, Obama, the people that they're following, the military-industrial complex and so on, I'm not going to point fingers, but if you start the war off of fake evidence and you're the newspaper that told America to start going to countries and kill leaders off of false evidence, there's no penalty. If you expose those crimes of murdering civilians or stuff that the 2016 campaign was doing that was completely illegal and undermining our democracy, that's when they care. So we live in an inverted reality. Even if you don't like Julian Assange, it goes deeper than that. If you don't like Julian and you like Trump, understand Tucker does some of the best journalism for not only the right wing, but even the progressive left. People like Glenn Greenwald, who's a far left progressive or a regular, I'm not trying to label him far left. You get it. He's progressive. He goes to Tucker Carlson. He can't get love on MSNBC. He can't get love on CNN. Only on Fox News do they allow, on Tucker, not all Fox News, do they allow somebody like a Glenn Greenwald to speak. So Tucker Carlson is under the most heat. If you're the best journalist, you get the worst press. If you're the best celebrity, you get the worst press. If you're the worst celebrity, you get the best press. If you're the worst warmonger, you get the best press. If you're trying to stop the wars, you get the worst press. We live in upside down reality world where literally that's unfortunately the way that things have gone for a while. The good stuff is now with the internet and these new movements, the worst people are feeling the heat unlike they've ever felt before. And for that, I'm grateful. And I think it's getting better. I'm not trying to be all negative. I'm just saying, you know, of all the people that have done horrible things in the world, I'm not sure that Julian's the worst, although we'll get into it. He faces up to 5 years in prison for what he's getting charged for. So what is he getting charged for? Because this is not very clear in a lot of newspapers. And then we're going to get into what could happen. He's being charged with conspiracy to commit computer intrusion. And so conspiracy to commit computer intrusion, is that the word? Intrusion, I'm sorry. Conspiracy to commit computer intrusion. The indictment on Assange, issued last year in Virginia, alleges that he conspired in 2010 with Chelsea Manning or Bradley Manning or, you know, Jussie Smollett Manning. I don't know what he changed his name to now. All jokes aside, the indictment of Assange was issued in Virginia, alleges he conspired in 2010 to access classified information on the Department of Defense computers. So let me tell you what Julian Assange has done, and then I'll say what they're alleging that he does. And I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't know Julian Assange personally. Maybe he did make a mistake. You know, maybe he did something. But I'm going to tell you what they're saying, and it's not adding up. First of all, WikiLeaks, his publication, they have an 100% accuracy. So every time they leak information, not only was it stuff like it was Hillary Clinton's emails, it was, you know, soldiers murdering civilians overseas. Like, I get that some people don't want that out. There's a lot of patriots and military say you can't leak on the military. It's harmful. You're entitled to that perspective. That's fine. All I'm saying is he has an 100% leak accuracy. That's better than the New York Times. That's better than Washington Post. That's better than any other publication. They've done leaks on Trump and classified leaks all these last 2 years. Some of them were fake. Some of them were real. They do the same stuff that Julian Assange does. They're just worse at it. And my personal disappointment is Julian Assange, his Twitter was really great. Like, he'd critique Trump, but when he actually critiqued Trump, because he didn't seem like he liked Trump that much, but when he talked about Trump in not the most nice way or the most, grace or like loving way or I would say fan way, he actually made sense. He was like a normal liberal. He's like, if Trump messes up, it's going to be here, here, and here. And it all made sense. It's like he was actually a liberal who could critique Trump and it made sense. But he'd always say, listen, Trump's not the worst thing going. Like, Trump is an outsider. He knew that Trump was Trump, and he definitely seemed to like Trump more than other people because he has a lot of information and he knows about the deep state and the Democrats and the Republicans and the wars. So he always knew, he's like, yo, Trump's not that bad, but if he doesn't start a war with Iran and he gets along with North Korea, he should win a Nobel Peace Prize. Julian had the best Twitter. He was insightful, intelligent. In this world, there's not a lot of people like that. I wish he would have a Twitter. Now, there's a year and a half that we don't get to hear his perspective, and I would argue he had one of the best perspectives in the world, and one of the most insightful. And, he was like a left-leaning person who actually made sense. It's a shame that they took his, Wi-Fi away. But he has an 100% accuracy. So how are they charging him? Because he's doing what they're doing and he gets the leaks and he puts it out. Same stuff that they do, except he's actually better at it and it has a bigger impact. So they're alleging that he actually coerced or pushed Chelsea or Bradley Manning to get the hacks. And here's the evidence that they have. Here's what they're saying. So during an exchange with Chelsea Manning or Bradley Manning and Julian Assange, Bradley Manning or Chelsea Manning said, after this upload, that's really all I got left. And Julian Assange, according to the reports, responded, curious eyes never run dry in my experience. So that's what they're saying is him telling Chelsea to hack more. They're alleging that he helped Chelsea access a password. So they're saying, no, Assange didn't just leak the publications like the New York Times and Washington Post. He helped Chelsea hack. And I see no evidence of that. I think Tulsi Gabbard went on CNN, I believe, and said that Tucker Carlson seems to be defending him, like always. Like, he seems to be the only journalist on television who can tell the truth half the time. But I don't know that this will hold up in court if they actually have a real court, because Chelsea Manning said, after this upload, that's really all I got left. He didn't say, hey, keep going, you got to do more. He said, curious eyes never run dry in my experience. So what he's saying is, in my experience, people who have curious eyes, they don't run dry. I mean, that's a stretch. I don't know that that means that he helped Chelsea hack. I think Chelsea's like, that's all I got. And he's like, in my experience, people, once you start, you can't stop. I get what they're saying. He's saying, well, you keep going. But I don't know, if someone's like, hey, I ran 2 miles and I'm never going to run another mile again. And I'm like, in my experience, people who run 2 miles always run another mile. I don't think that's me telling the person to run a mile. I'm just like, in my experience, that's what I've seen. If people start, you don't stop. I don't think it's a real reason, but obviously, I think everybody knows at this point, they don't want him arrested and they don't want him persecuted because of that. I think they're really mad that he released the Hillary emails. They're really mad he released stuff on the wars. They're really mad that he runs a publication that's better than theirs and, releases stuff on the U.S. government and others. And I want to say this because I do actually agree. I do truly believe that this could backfire on, the people who want Julian Assange arrested, because Julian Assange, not only is he not a dummy, he knows a lot. Julian Assange knows a lot. He knows more than most, and he knows things that they don't want him to know. So if they bring him to the United States, and this is what a lot of these movements, that support Trump, that are mad at me now, this is what they think. And here's the thing. I don't disagree that this might happen. I'm just saying he's not well, and it's not like he's in on it. It's like there's a high possibility that something bad happens to him, and Trump doesn't care and says, I never met Julian Assange, I don't care. Like, that's still a possibility. Everyone who knows him closely is not as bullish as the people who don't know him. But I do think if they don't harm him and he stays healthy, and they bring him to the U.S., they may open their own can of worms. Very similar to, they tried to investigate and hurt Trump for a year and a half on this Russia collusion, and today it came out that there's an indictment on the top Obama admin lawyer for alleged Ukrainian collusion. So a year and a half on Trump, they arrest all Trump's friends and pressure and ruin the lives of all Trump's people on things that have nothing to do with Russia. So after the whole Mueller collusion, they got no Russia stuff on Trump, but they have Ukrainian stuff on Obama. So the whole thing completely backfired. Their news outlets are crumbling. It's very, very beautiful in that way. The truth is winning. Same thing with Assange. I mean, do you really want to bring the guy who knows everything? He knows who leaked the DNC emails. He knows where they came from. They say that it came from Russia. Other people say otherwise. I don't know. I'm not a leaker. I'm not a hacker. I've never met Julian Assange. I don't talk about it to people. Like, this is not a conversation I have. However, Julian Assange for sure knows. I think people know. I mean, you think he doesn't know where he got his own leak from? The reason he hasn't released it yet is because he's very integrity driven. So his policy is he never reveals the source of his leaks. He does that so people will want to work with him again. If you leak to Julian Assange and he tells everybody that you leaked, then no one's going to want to work with him. And he's almost stubborn to a fault, as my friend Cassandra Fairbanks said, on doing stuff like that and similar stuff in his life. But in court, I mean, he might if you're arresting him and bringing him to court and who did this? Was it Russia? And he's like, hey, this is what happened. This is what I know. This is what they've done. This is what they've done. This is what they've done. I got all the proof. I got all the evidence. I do agree with these Trump movements that are mad at me now that it absolutely can backfire on them. It can work in Trump's favor. It can work in Attorney General Barr's favor, for sure. I do, but I just want people to understand. It's like, if something bad happens to me, and I don't think it will, but I'm saying Julian or Nipsey Hussle, the last thing you want is people calling you an actor, people saying you're not there, people saying you've been in on it the whole time when you're sick and you need help and you need a doctor. It's not helpful, and it's not fun, and it's not nice, and it's like I see how people treat others, and it's like, it's just, I just feel like it's nice to say something about it. But Also, I want to say on Trump, because a lot of people have Trump under fire. Because Trump, during his campaign, he kept saying, I love WikiLeaks, 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 because WikiLeaks went in Trump's favor during the 2016 elections. WikiLeaks released the emails. The emails exposed a lot of corruption and a lot of questionable behavior, although, and I get that only Hillary's emails, I get that no one else's emails got released, so I get where they're coming from. This is unfair. For sure, yeah. But, Trump was all boasting about WikiLeaks on the campaign trail, and now he says, I don't know anything about WikiLeaks. And I listened to Trump's full 30-second thing. He basically said, you could watch it yourself, determine for yourself. But he said, I know nothing about WikiLeaks. I'm going to let the Attorney General handle it. So to me, I get what Trump's doing. I'm not one of those people. I'm very fair, guys. And I'm so fair, not in a fake or conniving way. I'm just honest. And people want me to feel a certain way, and they feel like pressuring me. And you got to be mad at Trump because Trump's turning on Julian Assange. You're this. I'm really not. And it's so annoying that people do that because I explain my thought process to the world. It's all public. So it's not like I'm lying about it and not telling you. I'm not even mad at Trump yet because I listened to what he said. And basically, Trump's in a pickle. Just like with the Russian collusion, if he would have shut the Mueller investigation down, as he probably could have or should have based on how fake it was, they would say he's working with them. So everything they do to Trump, you got to be fair about it. He's in a snake pit. They do it so it's like if you do this, you're screwed. If you do this, you're screwed. They set him up with lose-loses all the time, and he somehow always finesses his way out of it. It's pretty impressive, actually. So when I didn't personally take, even though I have friends who did, I didn't personally take what he said about Assange as fake, because during the campaign trail, he's saying, I love WikiLeaks. He wasn't saying, I don't think he didn't know anything about WikiLeaks then. He just knew they released the email. So he's like, hey, I love them. He's not #1 Julian Assange fan or WikiLeaks fan. That's never been who Trump was. He's actually very anti-leaker. And I know that Assange isn't a leaker, but that's Trump's stance. He is, he's pretty hawkish against leakers. He doesn't like them. However, he says now he doesn't know WikiLeaks. I took it more of hey, I'm going to stay out of this. I'm going to let my Attorney General handle it, because if I say I love WikiLeaks or I love Julian Assange, they're going to try to, after I just got out of a 2-year Russia-gate investigation, they're going to try to say I worked with Russia because I like Julian Assange, so I'm just going to stay out of it and let the Attorney General handle it, which I think is fine. I don't think it's if Trump says I love Julian Assange or Trump says I don't know that much about WikiLeaks, I don't know if those words are what's really going to matter. What's really going to matter is what the Attorney General does, what the UK government does, and hopefully, nothing bad happens. And I do think it would be a shame, obviously, if something bad happened to Assange, and I do hope that Trump stands up for him. This is one, someone said, you are naive. Okay, this is the type of stuff why I don't even like to stream anymore. It's I say all angles, I tell the truth, I talk about people I know, I keep it fair with every group, and then this is how I get thanked every single day. I get slandered, I get attacked, I get hated on, I get pressured, I get lied about, even though I just explained everything. This is really fun for me, guys. It's a very, very fun stuff. But overall, what I wanted to say on that note, I kind of forget now. But I don't know. I guess that's all it is for today, because I can't really talk about anything anymore and be fair and accurate and talk about all angles without people bugging out and saying, well, Anomaly, you're making me mad because you told me 6 different angles and they're all honest and I only have one, and anyone that doesn't agree with my angle is bad and you're sold out. So I guess that's where we're gonna leave it at today. Thank you guys for joining and listening. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. And God bless these people that on a daily basis just run in circles, attack each other, hate on each other, hate on me, bring bad energy my way, lie about me, lie about what I said, lie about what I've done, lie about who I am, can't listen to 5 seconds of what I said, kind of like the judge in the Candace Owens case where she says something and then 3 seconds later he says that she said something else. I guess, we're just going to wrap it up. I had something else to say, but overall, I guess I remember now. I'll just finish it up. It's ridiculous, man. People are so mean. And this is the thing, even with I'm not even going to say Nipsey Hussle, but it's The people closest to you, the people that claim to be your friends, are always the ones who will stab you in the back the most. Your supporters, the people who love you, the people who claim to help you, they'll stab you in the back the second that you don't agree with them. I listen to 50 different people, and I'm going to get into what I said real quick, and then I'm going to leave, but I get persecuted. I watched videos today of someone I had on my podcast, Ali. He doesn't like Julian Assange that much, or at least he said he wants Julian Assange to get persecuted, or he thinks it's okay. I'm not yelling at Ali. I don't feel that way, but he doesn't yell at me either. That's a cool, like, there's friends I have that I completely disagree with. They don't like Julian Assange. They do like Julian Assange. They think this happened. They think that Julian Assange isn't that. Like, I don't sit here and scream and hate on people and call them names just because they don't agree with me. Like, and what annoys me the most and what's really been bothering me, but I'm not going to let it stop me. It's just going to fuel me and make me better. But, so you're not going to win. But these type of people, they want to drag me down simply because I don't agree with them, or I don't hate the people they hate, or I don't love the things that they love. And I tell people all the time, watch your own thing. If you like other people, I joke about Ben Shapiro sometimes, but I never say F Ben Shapiro. If you listen to Ben Shapiro, don't listen to me. I'm like, I listen to Ben Shapiro. I don't agree with everything he says, but he has value. If he interviews someone I want to hear, I watch it. I don't pressure people, but it's the people closest to you and the people that watch me that are trying to pressure me into not talking to people, pressure me into feeling this way, pressure me into doing this, pressure me into, like, you're worse than liberals. Liberals don't even bother me anymore. It's like right-wing people that try to pressure me. I'm not going to feel the way you feel just because you yell at me. And just to be quite frank, before I really finish up, just to be quite frank, it's like Dunning-Kruger syndrome. If you look that up, it's the people who aren't that intelligent that are so sure of themselves, and people that are intelligent constantly question themselves and have a harder time coming to grips with stuff. That's basic psychology, where it's like, I don't attack others because I'm comfortable with what I'm doing and I'm not really concerned that much with what they're doing. But it's always people that are weaker than me, dumber than me, more foolish than me, more angry than me, more hateful than me, more negative than me, worse than me, that always feel the need to try to, come and tell me how to act. It's just very, very strange, where I don't knock anybody. I see the value in a lot of great people, but it's like the psychology behind it. It's like, it's a little psychotic, but it's okay. And I wanted to say on the last note, one critique of Trump that Trump supporters have, and I don't know how I feel about it, a lot of this stuff I have to sit on, but people like Cernovich and, Cassandra Fairbanks, who voted for Trump and supported Trump and, to be honest, helped Trump win in many ways. I'm not saying they're the be-all, end-all, but the biggest critique I've seen of Trump that I find the most valid, there's multiple, but one of them being that people who help Trump and support Trump have just been getting destroyed left and right, such as Roger Stone, Flynn, Manafort, now Assange. Although Assange isn't an American citizen, he's not that tight with Trump, but he definitely helped Trump, I think, during the election, just with his Twitter and publication alone. That's the biggest critique of Trump, is that he doesn't help his people that much. And I guess I want to end on this. I don't know how I feel about it, because on one hand, Trump's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't all the time. But also it's like, he's always damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. He doesn't care. So at a certain point, no one's going to want to work with Trump. Even now, it's like, after what happened to Manafort, Flynn, and Stone, who really wants to work with Trump? Like, you got to put your whole life on the line and understand that you might get screwed and there might be nothing that anyone can do. It's making it a lot tougher for people to work at high levels for Trump. And that's just something that it is. And I'm not saying it's specifically his fault, but that is a critique that Trump supporters have that I find is more valid. And on that note, I wanted to say something important. Shoot, I forget. Man, it was pretty important. I'll read some of these comments real quick. Thank you, Brittany. Christopher said the Israeli-Trump connection. Yeah, I wasn't going to get into that this stream, but that's another big critique of people on the right, is that he's too tight with Israel, and a lot of people on the right don't like it. You don't have to agree with that, but that is a feeling that a lot of people are starting to have, especially, that's just too tight with Israel, doesn't really back his own people up enough. But like I said, I'm understanding about both of them, because even like in the world, you have power structures where it's like you need some allies. Like, I get it. Trump has chosen Israel. Some people choose the UN. I don't like the UN at all. You know, it's like same with Saudi Arabia. Our currency depends on it. So it's like, yeah, I'm not super trustworthy of Saudi Arabia, but it's like, how do you finesse out of these situations when the banks are owned? Our whole currency is based off of like imaginary stuff. You know, you have the military industrial complex. Like it's a tough situation to get out of. See what else you guys are talking about before we end. I had something I really wanted to say on that note, but I forget. Thank you, Mika. Yeah, no, I know it's mostly love, but it's like at a certain point, I'm a very simple person. I like to enjoy my life. I like to play sports, and it's just not fun for me anymore. Like everything I say, I'm getting attacked by people who claim to be my biggest supporters, and you know, then people who do this and that. It's like I don't even, you know. There's an old saying, a wise man says nothing. So I already talked too much. So no, I have notes, guys. I have 2 pages of notes. I just wanted to add something in at the end. See what you guys are talking about. Oh, I remember now. This is what it is. All right, so this is my big. I'm not even saying beef because I'm not even mad. But please just, and then I'm gonna take off. Please listen to what I'm saying. Please just consider it. I mean, that's all I ask for because it's very valid. It's not this when I say stuff. It's not an attack. It's just wisdom that is usually on point. All right, so my big beef with a lot of these Trump movements, and I'm not going to name names now, but you guys know, and I'm just because I've complimented these movements 50 million times, and then I say one thing and they freak out at me. Trump he's very pragmatic, so in many situations in his presidency, he's done what people have told him to do. There's been multiple times that he's seen a video and he's changed his mind. He's gotten pressure from his base, and he's changed his mind. He got pressured from the media. He changed his mind. He watched a documentary that aired on mainstream media that was, he changed his mind. So this is how human nature works. Of course, I think it's great to trust the plan and love what he's doing and support him. I would never knock that. I would never knock the movement. Great research, good energy. People are optimistic. That's great. I don't want to touch it at all. I don't want to talk bad or talk down about it at all. But you have to understand, when people ask Trump to do stuff and hold him accountable, I'm not just saying with Julian Assange, with other stuff, he has a high percentage of chance of doing it. And the truth is, trust me, I like Trump. I like Trump. I like Trump. But there's things he doesn't know about. He's one guy, and he's dealing with, like, I don't think he even understands, like, there's like the FDA, there's this, there's that, there's this war, there's that war. Trump doesn't have time to do 20 million things. He needs people to tell him, and then he'll be like, oh, let's do it. And he's that cool. Like, he's that strong where if it's on point, most of the time he'll do it. So my problem with these movements is people sit back and they're saying, trust the plan. It's all great. Julian Assange is happy. It's all going to be good. And the thing is, in many ways, that might, possibility, just consider what I'm saying, that might actually prevent it from happening. Whereas if these millions of people, from the Trump supporters here to Trump supporters there, Trump supporters there, put their foot down and say, Trump, we love you, we're going to vote for you, but we don't agree with you here. Make sure you keep Julian Assange healthy, because if you don't, we might not support you. Then he has a high chance of doing it. If people just sit back and say, we trust everything's going on, he's there, he's healthy, he's doing this, he's doing that, a lot of it is true. A lot of it is seamlessly working. There's a lot of stuff going on. I think the new AG is doing a great job. I don't disagree with that, but in many cases, you have to understand, Trump has done stuff that people told him to do. That's how the world works. The world doesn't work, but in a way, it is a beautiful thing to sit back, especially when you're dealing with politics. The one side of it is, it's great to say trust the plan and it's all seamlessly going, because then you're happy, you're optimistic, you're having a good time. I don't want to knock that, because politics could be miserable. So it is a fun movement where everybody's happy. But my thoughts, just as a rational person who's been doing stuff for years, I'm not going to just change my whole thoughts just because one person told me to, is that if you have millions of people who don't understand what's really happening and they think that something else is happening when it's not, so instead of trying to be like, hey, make sure you do this, they say, oh, it's going to happen, and then we find out that it doesn't happen, that has a real life consequence. So I think that's one thing that a lot of people just need to hear. That's all I'm saying. That's just one thing people need to hear, because I do think that there's a lot of stuff that Trump doesn't No. And even when someone said, hey, I don't like that Trump does this, I don't like that Trump does that, I'm seeing that a lot. I still think he has a strong base. I still think he's the best candidate for 2020. I still think he blows everyone else out of the water. And I'm very compassionate to even him. I understand his job's not easy. And unlike other people, the same things that people don't give to me, the respect and consideration they don't give to me, is that I understand that it's a lot easier for me to sit on my couch and say, hey, Trump, I'd do this with Julian Assange in Israel, and I'd do this with the UN, and I'd stop 15 wars, and I'd do all this. That's easy. Like, what's hard is winning an election like Trump did, doing everything. He's already done 50 things that no one else would ever be able to do. So I have respect. It's like, yeah, I get that there's some things that, like, it's a little more nuanced. And he's like, I'm going with them. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm more, it's like, I respect that. But at the same time, I do believe that, he's a human being who is surrounded by people that don't even really like him. His own party doesn't even really like him. The only reason his party likes him is because they were forced to like him. The only reason a lot of people at Fox News like him is because, one, either they realize that he's right, but a lot of the people behind the scenes, they didn't want Trump to win, but now Trump took over their movement, so it's either support Trump or lose. You feel what I'm saying? Like Tucker Carlson likes him, but, and a few other people at Fox like him, but they didn't want to like Trump. He made it happen. Same thing with what Trump's doing. It's like, we got to make some things happen. You know what I'm saying? If enough people say, hey, and I say what I say, but I don't, I'm like, all right, but with this Assange stuff, I'm just going to be honest. I'm not going to assume that everything's going seamlessly, because I know people who just met Assange. Like, they just talked to him 2 weeks ago. I'm following his mom. I'm listening to the people who know him close, and they're saying he's not happy. He's not healthy. He needs to see a doctor. And they're all worried about him. There's not a single person who knows him that's not worried about him. And I'm not saying that it's not a possibility it works out well for him. I hope it does. And I think it's going to backfire on him. But you get what I'm saying? There's a difference between being optimistic and showing love and actually being complacent and not really doing anything. It's like, it's great to just chill. But if you're trying to make a change, as a movement, I don't know that sitting back and assuming it's going to happen has ever, like in a business meeting, like if I'm just sitting there assuming it's going to happen, I'm not contributing to that meeting. Even if Trump and Assange and Roger Stone and they're all in on it, I'm not saying you have to. Like, some people are just watching and vibing out. That's cool. But a lot of these people are like, we're changing the world. We're changing the game. It's all us. But it's like, if I'm sitting there saying, oh, it's all happening, and I'm just going to watch it and tell everybody that it's happening, I'm not doing anything. And those people attack me where I'm like, guys, I have 40 million view videos with 17 million views. I helped launch the 2 biggest movements that support Trump. So why would you attack me? I'm not saying I'm better or worse than people as a person, but it's like my contributions to Trump and to America and to the mindset of our culture, it's all out there. The numbers are out there, the stats are out there, the effects are out there. So the same people that are sitting back pretty much doing nothing and telling people to do nothing seem like they want to hate on me for just having a nuanced perspective about it, like I do everything. I have people saying Anomaly hates Trump and our movement. I'm like, no, I don't. Not at all. I've never badmouthed it. I've never knocked it and said it was fake or a LARP or unreal. I never said that. I've had conversations. I've had debates. I've had the top people on. I've always said that there's real research. I've always said that there's valid information there. I've always said that there's a possibility that a lot of the stuff is real. I've never flustered on that. But I'm just saying, I know how, like, it's basic psychology. Like, what happens when you just sit there and wait for it to happen? Barr's doing something, Trump's doing something, Assange is doing something, you're doing nothing, which is fine, but don't act like you're doing something. Like, I'm doing something. I'm putting all of my eggs in a basket and I'm pushing it forward. There's real, and there is people that are waking up and learning new information. That's dope, I agree, but I'm just very, on a personal level, like, my mindset, I don't, like, complacency, I'm not a big fan of. I'm a big fan of optimism. I'm a big fan of, being patient and being happy and trusting, like believing in God, trusting God and stuff like that. I'm all for it, but I'm not that. I'm just going to be honest personally, and you don't have to attack me or agree with me, but personally, I'm not that bullish on sitting back, being complacent and thinking that everything's going to turn out just like I thought it was if you're involved in it. You get what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Some people, you're not looking to shift everything. You're just listening and learning and watching, which is fine. But it's like, that's just my thought as far as a lot of people who are like, I'm changing the whole thing. But it's like, all right, what are we really doing? And with Trump, it's like, you know, it's great to support, but I do think that he actually does change his mind. And I honestly, it's not going to be easy for him to do a lot of this stuff. Anything. It all comes from the ground level. Like, Trump won because people voted for him. Trump is powerful because people believe in him. Trump does things because he's allowed to do it. If 100 million people stopped watching television tomorrow, television wouldn't exist as a platform. If 200 million people said, you know what, guys, we're not going to argue about this movement. We're not going to argue about Trump or Julian Assange or left or right. We're going to focus on the food industry. We're going to focus on the health industry. We're going to focus on clean water. We'd get clean water. We'd get good food. We'd get good drug. But a lot of this politics stuff is like even the left and right thing. Like, obviously I lean right. It's no secret. I don't like taxes. I don't like big government. I'm finding more and more that everybody on the left, it's like, do they have a single leader that can't lie? It's ridiculous. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard is leagues above everybody else, and I'm still not even more bullish on her than Trump. I still like Trump more, but she's leagues above. It's like her and the rest of them it's a circus. But even the left and right battle, it's like Ilhan Omar, racist, anti-Semitic, Ilhan Omar, this and that. It's like, guys, our food is not even like top 30 in the world. You know, I'm not saying good food, but it's like our food industry is corrupt. You can get better food in South America. You can get better food in Syria. And like, they're like, what are you eating? I've literally talked to people from Syria. One of my drivers who's like, dude, the meat out here is not real meat. Like no one realizes we're being sedated with opioid pills. We have 80% of the opioids being consumed by 5% of the world. We have serious problems, and I'm not crying about it. I still think it's a great country. But imagine if we focused all this energy on Trump did this, Trump didn't do this, you got to do this. We anomaly, you're fake, this real. Guys, I'm not fake. Focus on stuff that matters. Do something. I'm even tired of the left and right thing. I'm like, I'm on some like, guys, I get that you're progressive. I get that you're libertarian. I get that this is your movement. I get that this is your movement. But I see the value in everybody. That's why I don't attack everyone. I'm like, you think he's a LARP, he thinks you're a LARP, you think he's fake, you think he's a shill. But I'm looking at both and I'm like, he does really good work. He does really good work. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I like him better than I like him, but I can't lie to myself and say that he's not doing good work too. That's the way, and like people get mad at me. They're like, why don't you hate him? I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't really, like, I don't hate anybody. It's not like, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand that. Like, I do what I do and they do what they do. If they did what I do, I wouldn't be very special, would I? If there were 50 reporters exactly like me, I wouldn't have a job. So I don't expect people to do what I do. And I don't understand that philosophy of like, they disagree with me on these things, so they definitely are a shill. It's like, some people just really like Israel. I don't know that they're working for the Israeli government. They just really like Israel. Some people really don't. You know, I don't know that it makes them anti-Semitic. Some people are, but I don't think a lot of the people, like, I don't understand this whole game that people are playing. It's like, he does good reporting. He does good reporting. He likes these people. He feels differently about these people. They like this stuff. They like, I feel like I'm in a crazy cartoon where like everybody's insane. And I'm like sitting here like, guys, we can't, someone said, I know you don't hate. I don't, but my problem is, it's like the people want to bring me down to the ground because I don't hate who they hate. It's like they want to call me out and lie, but I don't care. But at the same time, it's like, at what point do I just move into the woods and not ever look at my phone again? I'm not saying I'm going to do it now, but it's like, you know, I'm a very simple person. I know what I like. I like sports. I like water. Clean water. That's why we should focus on that instead of politics. I like, you know, the beach. I like friends and, you know, community. I like family. I like, you know, there's a lot of stuff I like. And on that list, I appreciate you guys. Obviously, this has been amazing. I appreciate being able to live off my cell phone. It's pretty amazing. But I know I don't like staring at a phone and reading 7 people hating on me from every angle. You said this, you hate these people, you hate these people, you this, why won't you hate them, why won't you hate them? Maybe because I'm not like you. Maybe I don't have a lot of built up hate and anger, and I don't know, or maybe we're just different. Maybe like we're built differently. Maybe, you know, like, which is fine. I'm not knocking anyone else, but it's like, these are the same people. It's not fun. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't like staring at a screen for 10 hours a day. It's okay. I get it. We all have jobs. It's like, I'd be somewhere else working for 10 hours a day that I don't want to be. I get it. I'm just saying, how much longer, is this fun? I'm just talking out loud, but what I'm gonna do soon, guys, too, and I'm gonna read a few comments and I'm gonna take off. Thank you guys for joining and listening. But I'm gonna go on vacation, and I'm turning off my phone for like 12 days. So I'm not gonna tell you exactly when, and I'll have posts scheduled. So some of you might not even know I'm gone. But I will be taking a break soon and just disconnecting. And there's two options. Either I'm gonna come back refreshed and ready to crush, or I'm gonna come back and be like, wow, that was way better than being on my phone. And I'll still come back, but it's just like, yeah, that's just how I'm feeling. You guys know. Let's see what you're talking about. We'll read a few comments. Dave said, I'm a combat vet. I've got nothing for love. Thank you, Dave. Donovan said, you're elevated. No one can understand that. And when I say everybody, I will say like 95% of people are awesome. But when I'm reaching this, like, consider it this way. If you went to a party with 100,000 people and 100 people just kept like punching you in the sides, you're going to remember that more than all the people showing you love that you can't really see. So I know that people are showing love, and I'm going to try not to read comments and stuff anymore. But you have to understand it takes a toll. I can't say anything without being attacked from every angle now. And it's not by just bots. It's not like people, that's the big thing too. People are like, no, it's like people always tell me, normally it's bots, or, it's leftists pretending to be right wing. No, I know some of these people. It's like the Julian Assange thing. It's not a secret. It's not a mystery. I know a lot of who these people are. They're people who support me, who just don't want to hear something. So it's all good. No, I'm not gonna hide. I'm never hiding. I'm not running away. I'm just like, I'm trying to build a life that I enjoy. And I have enjoyed my life a lot, but it's been a really rough month, just to be honest. It's been very rough, and it's been taking a toll. Someone said, why are you going to a party? You're immature. I hope you're joking. Either way, it's funny. We love you in Florida. Thank you. People need your perspective. Thank you, Zachary. I mean, you're in a laptop. Yeah, I live in a laptop. I'm not real. No, I know, guys, there are troll plants, but there's also just people who aren't, you know what I'm saying? Of course there's troll plants. Thanks, Greg. Thank you, Donald. Appreciate you. Yeah, I'm going to take a break. I'm so pumped. I wish it was happening tomorrow, but I'll get into stuff later. I don't want to get too deep today. Christian, thank you. Larissa said, that's why I quit writing conservative newspaper. I got death threats. Yeah, it's not very fun, to get screamed at and yelled at and threatened. It's definitely not fun. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm going to take a break. But here's the thing, guys. When I take a break, I'm going to schedule posts. You might not even realize I'm gone, because I'm going to have all my best videos and all my favorite videos. I'm going to have it scheduled, so I'm posting like 4 times a day of all my best stuff, so you probably won't even realize. Someone said, how do we let Trump know he has to help Julian Assange? Good question. I think just power in numbers. Like, I'll give you an example. When the mass media was freaking out about kids in cages, even though the reason that they were being separated was because of like human trafficking, so I don't even think it was really the right decision, he actually reversed it. I've heard stories from people I know that Trump has seen documentaries on television and reversed like an environmental decision or something else. And also the whole $1 billion, I always talk about how Trump overturned a $1 billion program in Syria funding rebels. According to reports, he did that because Ivanka Trump saw a video and it made her sad, and then she talked to Daddy, and he was like, oh, that is bad, that's wrong, let's change it. He really operates like that. So I can't lie and say I have all the answers, but I just know if you have 10 million supporters who sit there and say, oh, he's going to do it, and the truth is he's not going to do it, then it's not helpful. And I don't know how Trump feels. I'm not going to lie and say, oh, he's definitely going to do it, or he's definitely not going to do it. But my thoughts with Julian Assange, Trump is not, he's not really big on leakers. I'm not saying Julian Assange is a leaker, but Trump's like a very classical American. He doesn't like leakers. He likes being strong military. So I don't know that he really has any interest in helping Julian, unless a lot of his supporters, stand up and are like, we're not having this. And same with the Israel thing when it comes to, like, I have Israeli supporters, I have a lot of Jewish supporters, I appreciate everyone. I don't have a problem with anybody in particular, obviously, but a lot of Trump supporters are getting upset because the only time that our Congress seems to come together for, it's like Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, McCarthy, Mitch McConnell, they go to AIPAC, and even Trump and his relationship where it's like, we don't mind if we're getting stuff done, but our country doesn't function. Like our whole country is not functioning at all. And it's like in Israel they're reporting, they got 2 right wings, they don't have a left wing. Well, in our country, there is a left wing and nothing works. And, it just seems like you can't talk about it, you can't say anything about it. And there's some people, just like war things, like a lot of people don't like Saudi Arabia. They don't like our relationship with Saudi Arabia. There's a lot of people who don't like our relationship with the UN. A lot of people don't like Canada. A lot of people are not really pumped about our relationship with Israel because although they're an ally, obviously they have a lot of problems. Them in Palestine are beefing. We're in Iraq, we're in Syria, we're in Libya, and no one really understands why. And some people think it's, on behalf of them. I'm not sure. I've seen, evidence otherwise. You got the Bushes and there's a plan that they've had for 20 years. I have no idea who's doing it, but all I'm saying is, people are upset in many ways. And I think the best, it's like say something, and then people in the conservative movement, I think it's their responsibility as like the RNC or whoever knows what the leadership is to address those concerns and say, listen, here's why we're doing what we're doing, and here's why we think it makes sense, rather than saying you're wrong, you're bad, you're anti-Semitic, you're terrible. It's like saying you're racist, you're sexist, you're xenophobic to people who are concerned with, Islamic immigration or, illegal immigration. People are not all racist, sexist, and xenophobic. Yeah, there's a small percentage of people who just hate everyone of another race, but it's not that big of an issue. There's 95% of the people who don't want illegal immigrants for tax reasons, for crime reasons, for population reasons, for economy reasons, and that's okay. But this is the problem with politics, this is the problem with media, and this is the problem with groups, is that none of these issues ever get addressed. From Julian Assange to that. People just say, you're horrible if you disagree with me, you're wrong, we're doing this, and people get more and more mad. Even here, it's like you got the media hating one race of people, the majority of the country, and then they're just like clashing people together, and then they step back and be like, why is everyone mad? We don't understand it. What are you, racist? It's like, no, you guys are screwing everything up. You're slapping everybody together. You're pissing off every racial group, every religious group, every gender. You're turning everybody against each other, and then you're sitting back calling everybody racist, sexist, and xenophobic if they don't vote for Hillary Clinton. It's really sick. So I can't tell you what the solution is, but I don't know how to achieve it, I would say, but I know it comes from like, what if they just told us, like even in Venezuela, I was saying on my podcast the other day, I get that we're probably there for reasons beyond helping Venezuela. Let's be honest. There's 27 million people in slavery, according to Reuters. 27 million. Why are we not out helping the enslaved people? It's because we're interested in our own self-interest as a country, and I'm not even mad at that. Obviously, I don't want people to be enslaved, but I prefer the blunt truth, where it's like, guys, we're not going there. I hate this lying, and that's all politics is on both sides. It's like, even Trump and people, and that's one thing that you'll see Trump and all the left-wing people, like they always agree on these things, and they're like, we got to go to Venezuela to help communism. I'm not a fan of communism. I'm not a fan of socialism. That's very obvious. I don't think it's a successful platform, and left-wing people get mad at me, but I don't think for a second we're in Venezuela to stop socialism. I think we're in Venezuela to fight a proxy war with Russia. And I would be okay with that if they just said that. I'm not saying it'd be my favorite thing. I don't want to be at war. But wouldn't that be better if it's like, guys, the reason we hang out with Saudi Arabia is because they own the currency, and without them, we're all going to die. I'd be like, all right, I get that. It's a tough decision. It's like, guys, we got to go to Venezuela because there's oil there, or we got to fight Russia. I'd be like, okay. I'm like, it's not my favorite thing, but if that's what we got to do, that's what we got to do as a country. They don't do that, though. They're like, we got to stop socialism. You're anti-Semitic. You're racist. You're Islamophobic. You're this. You're that. And they just piss everyone off. Where it's like, there's some bad people who are hateful. There's some good people who aren't hateful. But to be honest, and this is what I think a lot of people don't understand, is the root level of hate comes from a lot of stuff. Comes from anger. It comes and some of that I try to get that out of my body in many ways, but a lot of it is, there's a reason. Like if somebody's racist, let's just go with this. Why would somebody hate an entire race? there's a reason there. It's not like they just woke up one day and they're like, I hate all white people or I hate all black people. All right, why are they racist? Let's peel racism back. Were their parents told them they were conditioned to feel that way? The media told them they were conditioned to feel that way? There's a real concern. Whether it's hating white people or hating black people, there could be a real concern. Not that I agree with hating people, but it's like maybe there's something going on that's not being addressed and it's making people more mad. With the racism with illegal immigrants, there's a lot of people that don't care about Mexicans or Hispanics at all. They just don't like illegal immigrants. And they're tired of being told that they're racist for trying to stop illegal immigration, including a bunch of Hispanics. So it makes people more mad. The way to actually stop racism is to, one, address the concerns of people. Two, understand that even if it's deeper than that, that it comes from hate and anger and conditioning and upbringing. And then you could start to peel back that layer and solve racism. Like, that's how you do it. I always reference this documentary because it's really one of my favorite explanations of it. Daryl Davis was a black jazz musician. He made 100 or so KKK members quit because he was so cool and considerate and understanding that they realized they weren't racist. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but like, some of the people that I'm friends with that everyone would say, they're crazy, they're insane, they're hateful. You might not like how they're responding to it, but they're actually wrapped up in all that stuff. There are genuine concerns that they can't address ever. Even if they take away all the stuff that they're doing and they say it very normally, like me, very accurately, and say, hey, this is my concern with this group of people. This is my concern with this policy. They get called racist, they get called sexist, they get called xenophobic. So their response now is getting angrier because now people will fear what they're saying and they have to listen. That's people's response. And it's not my thing personally, but I understand where people are coming from because they're like, hey, if I'm going to be called racist, sexist, and xenophobic and hateful and anti-Semitic and Islamophobic, whether you're right, left, this, then people are, I have Jewish friends who are getting more angry about Islamophobia. I have Christian friends who are getting more mad about the anti-Semitism words. And everyone's getting more mad on all sides of political and religious spectrum. It's because there's real concerns in every religion, race, and gender and political affiliation, and none of them are being addressed. And you can't talk about any of them. If you even mention it, you're called, even the, he discovered DNA, Watson and Crick, I think it was Crick. He said that the genetics of the world, he studies genetics, and he's not just a random guy. He discovered DNA. Like, that's one of the biggest accomplishments in modern history. And he said that certain parts of the world are never going to get better, he said, because genetically they're just not, the average IQ is not high enough. And here's the thing. I'm not a scientist. I'm not an IQ expert. I don't know. I didn't look at the study or the research, but he's allowed to say that. Like, who am I to tell the founder of the DNA that he's not allowed to have a discussion about genetics and IQ? I don't have any say in that. And if I want to disagree with him, I could say, hey, Crick, here's why I think you're wrong. And that can be better. Like, that's the way to do it. It's not saying he's racist for saying that. And that's what the Washington Post did. That's what the New York Times did. That's what everyone did. So I get messages from all groups as well to not focus on the negative. And they always say thank you. Where they're like, thank you for having a conversation about my people or my religion or my race or my culture or America or like, this conflict that's very, very, very controversial and hard to talk about. Thank you for talking about it and not being hateful about it. Thank you for explaining it. Because when I do that, I'm not trying to crush any group. I'm trying to help everyone because I see how this is going to play out. You keep it's like in the Middle East. That's why I don't like war. You keep stirring up the honeypot, like Trump says, and people are going to start stinging. That's how things work. But it's like in this country, it's why free speech is so important and also a valid press, because these issues with like religion and race and gender, they're not that complicated. Illegal immigration, it's very simple. It's actually ridiculously simple. But we're led on both parties in many ways by legit psychopaths, where it's like they just yell, they lie, they make up stuff, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I obviously like Trump more than everyone else, and I think he's done a great job, but like I get maybe it's not his call, but like just don't lie to me. Why are we in the Middle East? Why are we in Venezuela? Why are we friends with Saudi Arabia? Why are you working so close with Israel? why don't you like the UN? Like, I understand that. He says, I don't like the UN. This is why. They don't do this. I get it. But like certain things, like I know we're not in Venezuela for Venezuela. There's other poorer countries we're not invading to help them. Yemen, there's a huge problem in Yemen. Saudi Arabia is fighting them with weapons that we sold them, and there's reports of like starvation. We're not running there to save that. Like we don't. And I'm not saying it's okay, but like just don't stop lying. Everybody wants to not be lied to, and I think that these conversations are tough. But it's like that's why I don't even mind. Like there's extreme people, like people are like Farrakhan. I'm like, I don't agree with him. I honestly think I don't believe a lot of stuff he says, but he doesn't bother me because I think he's a product of many things, but also, people who won't listen or give him the time of day for 80 years. So he feels this way. And it's like same with, people on the right now. It's like they're getting fed up and then they're like, why are you that mad? And then it's like even people like, because no one's listening. No one's having conversations. No one's allowing people to feel differently. Like everything is like this idea of, I don't want to say multiculturalism because I appreciate every culture and learning from it and stuff, but it's like what they do with every social justice movement. I'm fine with everybody of every race, religion, gender, live where you want to live, do what you want to do. But what they do is they just smash things together unnaturally. Like they're like, here's this social justice movement, bam. Here's this social justice movement, bam. Here's the Women's March, bam. Here's the LGBT movement, bam. Here's this, bam. Every social justice movement has pretty much been a lie in the past 100 years. And I'm not saying the idea behind it or what they claim to be is always very valid, where it's like, yeah, of course, for sure. But every time they've implemented it, even from the civil rights movement, listen to someone like Jesse Lee Peterson, who's a black man, grew up on a plantation. He says it was better when he was younger. And I'm not saying it's better. I wasn't even born. But his reasoning for it is very controversial on purpose. But he's trying to say this is even a classic conservative talking point where it's like if you look at family structure, if you look at even income in certain ways, and like there's like a lot of statistics where it's like, yes, certain things got better, obviously, but then a lot of things got worse. Like, do I hate women's because I don't like the women's movement? No, of course not. I love women, but I think the women's movement's a lie. I think the LGBT movement's a lie. And that's what they do. Even with like Farrakhan, he believes in segregation. That's not my thing, but I think he's allowed to have a conversation about it. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care. Like, people don't bother me. I don't care if it's anti-white or anti-black, I get if it's mean and violent, then like for sure, that's bad, like hurting people. But like if Farrakhan says he feels that way, whatever. Like if Watson and Crick say that they think these people have higher IQs, I don't care. You could come up to me and be like, Anomaly, I think you have a lower IQ than Asians. Like, I'm not going to cry about it. Like, that's your perspective. Maybe that's your study. Like, people get mad when they don't get to have these like ideas, or like they don't get to portray them. And I'm supposed to be the bad guy for not being mad at everybody. I'm just like, I think the biggest problem is everybody has concerns and no one's being met. Whether it's left wing, right wing, this religion, this culture, that culture, especially American culture and the values that founded it. That's the most oppressed group now, is like the people and the ideas that founded this country. We're living in an opposite world. It's like if you like free speech and the Second Amendment and you love the people who founded this country, which if you're allowed to love everyone, why could you not love those people? They call you a racist, they call you a bigot and a supremacist and a hater. And in no way, shape, or form is that stopping racism. In no way, shape, or form is that lowering tensions. In no way, shape, or form is that helping Islamic people and black people. And like, it's not actually helping anyone. It's literally just stirring up the pot, pissing everybody off, making this entitled class of like people who think that they don't have to work for anything or do anything. Like, and I'm not talking about a specific, I'm talking about like age, as far as kids that are like, I'm not going to say everyone, but like from 15 to like 23 now, I'm talking to people who own businesses who hire them. They're like, dude, they're trying to destroy everybody in their way, and they want to be the CEO even though they're 19 just because of like identity politics. It's a real problem. Yeah, we have a whole class of people, tens of millions of people, hundreds of millions of people who are boosted up by mainstream media, fed pharmacy pills, and told that they're the greatest thing ever and they deserve everything in the world. And if anyone disagrees with them, they hate them because of their gender. It's not okay. Like, it's not helping sexism. It's not helping race. Sexism in America has never been worse in my lifetime than it is now. No one cared in the 2000s. No one in 2010. No one gave a crap. Like no one hated women. Yeah, of course, there's probably certain things that maybe didn't go in women's favor, and I'm open to talk about that. But it's like no one hated. I don't know that many people. There's not that many men who hate women. Men love women too much, like disgustingly much. It's a problem. It's this farce that men hate women. Like that's not really a thing. And now there's a bunch of activists who legit hate men and hate themselves. I've never seen this many people who hate the opposite sex as they do now. I've never seen anybody who hates the opposite race as much as they do now. I grew up going to people's house. My mom never mentioned, "Hey, your friend's Muslim, watch out." I know that's a religion, not a race. It was never like, "Hey, like no one said anything." It wasn't, I mean, obviously some people did, but now I can't even have a conversation with someone like, "Hey, how do you feel about low taxes?" I was like, "Well, the reason I like low taxes is because, I don't think the government really ever does anything with our money, and, I live in a state where they take the most taxes and have the most poverty." You're a man. You're mansplaining. You don't know what you're talking about because of your gender. So now you won't even listen to my argument because of my gender. Okay, you're a white male. Your skin is too light for me, so now you're not even going to consider what I'm saying based on my race, my ethnicity, my skin color, and my gender? And even certain events, like I'll get invited to because I'm part Hispanic, where it's like, why, if I was 100% white, now I'm not allowed to, no one will invite me anywhere? It's just because I'm part Hispanic? Like, even though that's flattering, like, thank you for inviting me and I appreciate people, don't you think it's going to make some white people kind of mad that the only reason you're inviting me is because of my, small percentage of not being white? Like, it's like, I get that there's events like this and stuff like this, but everyone's allowed to segregate in their own cultures except for the people who founded the country. And I'm part Hispanic, part white, mostly white, but also people think I'm everything. They think I'm like Armenian and Indian and stuff. But you don't think that's going to make people mad? That everyone can have their own special events, and then if you just say, "Hey, I exist and I'm here," that you're racist just for standing there, it's pissing people off. It's pissing people off to the point where they're yelling at me like I'm doing it. I'm like, guys, I'm the only one talking about this stuff. So if we really want to stop racism and sexism and xenophobia, as I've said a lot, we have to do so by having tough conversations, letting people feel certain ways, and addressing the problems. If people don't like illegal immigration, they're not racist. If people want to ban people from 7 countries where they're blowing each other up and have high rates of, things that don't really correlate with our civilization, that's not xenophobia and Islamophobia. And, and vice versa, from white, black, this, that. I don't know. I'm just letting y'all know. Someone said, "Let my girl Bailey get a shout out. She's a first time listener." Shout out, Bailey. God bless you. Someone said you should get paid by the states to do a U.S. tour speaking to high school kids. My friend, I feel you. I've done high school things before, but here's the thing. No one books me. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not crying about it because I don't care. But yeah, don't you think kids and universities should hear what I'm saying? They don't want me to go. I'm not going and yelling at Ilhan Omar so no conservatives speak me. I'm not going and saying, "Build a wall, build a wall, build a wall, build a wall," so no one books me. I get it. It's like, I mean, I don't get it, but I'm like, these people know who I am. They know that I'm a good speaker. They know that kids will like me. A lot of these organizations desperately need my help because they're not that cool. I'm not saying I'm the coolest cat in town, but, do your own analysis on that. It's like, I'm a hip-hop artist. I can talk to them. I have rap songs. You think I can't talk to a college campus and a high school campus and get them in the right direction? I can, on a high level. And not to boast myself, but on a higher level than most of the people who won't book me. But I don't care anymore. I get it. I'll figure it out myself. I'll do my own tour. I'm working on events. I've been so overwhelmed this last month with taxes and stuff. Would I come to North Dakota? Of course. I'd come anywhere. Just as long as I got booked and, I didn't lose money, I would. I'm working on it. I guess I'm just pretty overwhelmed with, I manage myself. I record my own videos. I edit my own videos. That's why I get really upset when people say I'm sold out or nothing, where it's like, guys, I edit my own videos. I film my own videos. I do everything all the time. There's not even a single employee. I employed my friend to, for 3 weeks to help me send emails. That's it. What do I have to do to get you up here? Email me, but I would say, yeah, I don't know. I don't speak to people who run schools or events. I don't know exactly. When I've been booked before, it's been by the school, So there's organizations like Turning Point and such that book a lot of people, but they don't really book me. They invited me somewhere and then wouldn't let me speak. And then there's other thing I got invited to too that it just wasn't working out. But it's I love these people. It's all good. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't exactly know what the call is, but I'm speaking to people though, trying to figure out how to book my own speaking tour. But in the meantime, I don't waste time. I'm just doing work. Yeah, it's all fun. It's all good. We'll answer a few more and then I'll roll out. Thank you guys for being here. I wanted to spend a little time because I haven't really been present that much this week. Don said, thank you for being a free agent. No problem. Our local high school brought David Hogg. Dear Lord. See, that's the type of stuff they're doing. Will I come to Texas? Of course. I would love to come to Texas. My friend Chad Prather says that he'll have me on his show in Texas sometime. Someone said I'd be cautious with the campus kids. Yeah, but here's the thing with the campus kids too. And a lot of I just talked to my buddy Fleckas, who was just on a campus tour. And, Fleckas is a good guy. Fleckas also has some sauce, man. They need to book him more. He has the sauce. But a lot of these things, I'm not trying to hate on anybody or bring them down at all. But I think it's I don't think I'd have a problem if I went to a campus because I'd actually try to reach out to these kids. Of course, there'd be some weirdo psycho kids. But a lot of these conservatives, they're going campus clash. That's what it's called. And I'm not... Dude, Charlie and Candace, they're doing incredible work. Anna, these people are great. I'm not, but that's the name, that's the branding. It's not campus love or campus, cooperation. And I'm not saying it has to be, but it's like campus clash. They're purposely going to clash with the campus. And then everyone acts surprised when they're like, look, everyone hates us. Where it's I'm not saying they're justified. I obviously don't agree with Antifa on any level. I think, they're a problem, but it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy of a war where it's they go to these campuses to yell at these kids or to clash with them, and then they wonder why that people show up. It's it almost feels like they want that to happen. And I'm not being mean about it. I'm not jealous or hateful. Not at all. That's just my thought. I think a lot, even left and right stuff. Obviously, I lean right wing. The people are doing beautiful work. I compliment them to the heavens. But it's at what point are we just running in circles? And at what point are we being the whole reason that I like Trump is because liberals used to be kind and compassionate and loving, I thought. And then when I realized that they were the most psycho, mean, nasty people, it made me be wait a second, let me reevaluate this. And then I learned about taxes, then I learned about government, and then it was a no-brainer. But I never would have thought about all that stuff if it wasn't for the 2016 election. Same with conservatives. It's of course, I agree with a lot of the policy more, but if you start being just as hateful and just as confrontational and just as mean and just as spiteful and just as angry as the left, at what point does it become just a hamster wheel of anger and hate and blame and confrontation? I don't know. I'm not out here claiming to, but that's just my thought where even with this Ilhan Omar stuff, dude, I'm so tapped out of this stuff. I don't like Ilhan Omar. I don't trust her. I don't, not at all. But it's all the right wing does is talk about her. They talk about her. They tweet about her. They exaggerate about her. They put 9/11 headlines and blowing. It's guys, what are you accomplishing? What are you doing? There's death threats against her, which is awful, even if you don't like her. And then there's people I follow on Instagram saying, I'm glad that that's happening. That's disgusting, guys. I don't care if it's right wing. There's people threatening her, and then you're saying that you're glad that's happening. These people are disgusting and cowardly, and honestly, I don't like it. So it's like, it's like just because they agree with me on Trump and a few things, I'm supposed to act like that's all cool and it's cool, it's dope. It's like, it's not. It's not helping. It's making her more famous. They're exaggerating about her. They're lying about her. They can't stick to one thing that she did and be honest about it. To me, it's not impressive at all. It's like, are there stuff she said that's alarming? For sure. But 8 out of 10 tweets I see, they're exaggerating about what she said, hyping it up, freaking out about it, promoting her. It's so goofy, I'm so over it. No, here's the thing. I get the psychology. I'm gonna read that Ruben. This is important. He said here. Ruben said truth, but I think conservatives might just be tired of being attacked. 1,000%. Good night, brother. That's what's happening. But here's the thing. The whole liberal ideology behind why they're attacking is because they're tired of being attacked. They think that, or they feel that, or they are truthful about, the LGBT community is spiteful because they weren't allowed to do what they wanted to do, as publicly, I guess, or they didn't think they could. So that's their justification. I understand that conservatives feel that way, but that's why liberals are so mean. When it's like, guys, aren't you supposed to be the party of love and compassion? They're like, yeah, but we're fighting hate. And then you go to the right wing. How come you guys feel that way? No. We're cool, but we're fighting hate. We're fed up. We're fed up. We're fed up. We're tired of how we used to be treated. We're tired of how we're being treated. It's all the same. And I understand that's the way the world works. Like, that's why strong people win. Because at the end of the day, weak people kind of get used and stepped over, unfortunately. Even weak countries. That's why, like America, like, we're doing all this bad stuff, but it's like, unfortunately, if you look at history, that's what happens, is people do insane psycho stuff and they invade people's land, and it's a shit show. But you get what I'm saying? I agree. I agree that that's why conservatives are doing, but I disagree that that's the proper solution. Because when I have conversations with liberals all the time, and they listen to me all the time, and they at least have a conversation. When you're the type of conservative that, and it's okay, like, trust me, I don't want everyone to be like me. I want conservatives that are stocked up and work with local militias that are legal and stuff. That's all good. I'm not hating in the slightest, but it's like when I have conversations with people, they're like, I never thought of it that way, but like, I'll give you an example. Alex Jones was on Logan Paul's podcast the other day. If you guys don't know who Logan Paul is one of the biggest YouTubers like ever, and he has the #1 podcast, I believe. That's what he says, and I don't doubt it. His following is ridiculously big. He did Vine, Instagram. So he had Alex Jones on, and Alex is saying a lot of valid stuff, but then he goes and starts punching himself in the face. He punched himself in the face 6 times. He was like, punch me, and then he starts smacking his head on the table, and then he's like asking for more alcohol, where if a liberal watches that, as much as, I think Alex has done good work in the past, it's definitely entertaining, but it's like, do you think that makes liberals who don't like Alex Jones, do you think that makes them look at him and be like, he makes sense now, it's totally not crazy what he's saying? No, they look at that and they're like, oh, that's what Trump supporters are like. They punch themselves in the face, they drink too much, and they like hit their head on the table. You get what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not knocking Alex, but I'm watching that and I'm like, this is why nobody likes us. This is why everyone thinks we're crazy, but the crazy part is when I go to events, from Politicon to other events, because all the conservatives I talk to are nothing like that. It's like doctor from Pakistan. It's like, friend. It's like, really cool white guy with like black girlfriend. And not that it matters, but it's like none of this stuff that they say exists. It's all just like everything. Like Hispanic Trump supporters, Haitian Trump supporters, like everything under the sun. It's not just like white men at all. It's like every story, every job, every person, everybody's very friendly, everybody's very intellectual. So I'm confused at why 90% of the conservatives I talk to are awesome, but 90% of the leadership of conservatives in the public eye are insane. Is that by design, or are we just really bad at picking our leaders? I don't even want to be a leader, but it's like, guys, this is not who we are. Just like liberals, to be honest, I don't understand why to be quite frank, people who've got mad at me recently, liberals don't even get mad at me anymore. Honestly, I don't even see them bothering me like at all. It's pretty, like, but the liberal people I talk to or that lean left and don't really like Trump, they're nothing like these leaders. So that's why they should like me. I'm not I'm not trying to ruin you. It's like, you need new leaders. If you guys are all cool and you guys are all rational and you guys are all normal liberals and you understand why that's a problem and you understand that why that's a problem, why is 96% of the media psychopaths? Why is your entire leadership in your political party psychopaths? That's my fault. I'm not trying to crush liberals into non-existence so it's conservatives run rampant, but at the same time, it's like, guys, there's a major problem in your party. You gotta evolve or change or you're gonna lose. I talked to a friend today, really good guy who's a liberal from Canada, and he doesn't like Justin Trudeau anymore. They're all turning against Justin Trudeau because reality sets in. It's all gonna happen. I'm not lying. You can hate me or get mad at me, but liberals are losing in Canada. Justin Trudeau digged his own grave, metaphorically. He's crushing himself. He's getting turned on by women and other people. No one really likes him anymore. It's they lost in Ontario. They lost in Quebec. They lost to Trump. They're they lost in Brazil. It's not a conspiracy theory of anti-sexist, anti-LGBT. You guys screwed up. The leadership is awful, 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 awful. And they don't represent the people. You're I don't know very many liberal people, even the fringe leftist groups that attack people. They're a very small amount of most people are working people or even people that are actors or in the industry. They don't care about all this stuff. They just think that it's something else, or they are confused and they don't like Trump, but they don't understand why it's happening because they're being lied to. They're not bad people. If you work in an industry where everyone's lying to you, every new concert they're lying to you, every television station they're lying to you, every PR agency is lying to you, these are good people that genuinely have no idea what the F's going on because everybody around them is liars. The whole industry is a liar. So it's when you're exposed to authentic information, you're it's seeing the light for the first time in a year. You're oh, I'd never thought of that. And they're not being condescending or rude. They genuinely have never heard this stuff before. And they've only heard angry conservatives yelling things. They've never, and some of them are effective. I'm not saying, when I talked about the campus class stuff, I'm not knocking it. Candace has been very, very effective. Charlie's been ridiculously effective. I tell people all the time, because people will say to me, hey, Turning Point does this and that. And my answer is always the same with Turning Point. I always say, if you want to make a better Turning Point, you got to make a better Turning Point. It's Charlie's doing a lot of stuff. You can dislike him. You can have your opinions about Candace or whatever. But it's truth is, they built the biggest conservative movement. And they're doing, when I talk about that, I'm I think they should book me, but they don't. I'm not saying I think they should book me. They don't. I hate them. They need to burn. I'm I think they should book me. I think they're making a huge mistake. They don't. However, I'm going to book my own events if I have to. It's not a spiteful, I'm going to do that. But it's I got it. That's the two options. Why would I hate on them when they're doing 50 times more than everyone else? That's the part people don't get too. It's don't hate them. Don't be mad at them. If there's things that they're lacking, make a new one and try to make it better. And then book other people. You get what I'm saying? So that's definitely it. Good night, Patrick. You get a big good night. I appreciate you. All right. Any last words? And then we'll take off. This was a long one, but I appreciate it. And this was fun. I've been running a lot this week, and today I got my athletics out. It was fun. But in general, I'll be more active soon. And then I am going to take a break. I'm just letting you guys know. And I'm not going to say exactly when, but I'll be gone and I'll post stuff. Janet is a share. Don's a supporter. God bless. I don't see anything. Sammy, thank you so much. I'll show some love to everyone who stuck around for sticking around. Thank you, Kathy, for sticking around. Appreciate you guys. We'll do 5 or 10 shout outs. Susie Watkins, thank you for being here. Caroline, as always. Yeah, no problem, Caroline. Val said I need a reset. Trust me, I got it booked. I'll tell you after I come back. I like to be a little mysterious. I don't like everybody in my plans. I don't think that's a good idea. Someone said the Nico debate probably took a toll. Man, I don't mind debating, but yeah, it was a strange one. I've had progressives on who are a lot calmer and a lot more friendly. But yeah, dude, this whole week has taken a toll. That, taxes, other stuff that I don't even talk about. It's just been a crazy, crazy week. And everything was piling up. But I got my taxes done. I'm going to give all my money to the government. That's always fun. Someone says shoot more hoops. It's all good, guys. I'm happy. I'm blessed. I just keep it real. I'm letting you know. It was a little hectic of a 2 weeks. and it's all good. My life for the last like 5 months, it was almost too good where, I was like, when I ride a wave and I crush it, and then sometimes it goes down a little. That's just how life goes, like I can't be happy I don't get really depressed or like sad. I'm not that type of person, but I do get more down. Like you can't be like amped up all the time. So like things were going too well for too long. So I was just like, something bad's going to happen for sure. And then it's not terrible, but it's like, I got taken down a little bit where it's like, but that happens almost all the time. It's just like I was almost like suspicious. Things were too good. I was like, all right, something bad's going to have to happen. And then it's like, now I'm in the spot where I got everything done, and I'm just going to, I work off the energy like that. It's like, when it's hot, I ride it. Strike while the iron's hot. When it's cold, I, take a break, gather, and get back to it. That's how it goes. But trust me, I'm not quitting or crying. I guess I just let you guys know how I feel, and I try to like strike some like consideration from people, because I'm not like the weirdest part to me. It's like the Candace thing where he's like, you called Ted Lieu stupid, and she's like, I didn't say that. I don't mind if people disagree with me at all, ever. Like, someone could be like, Anomaly, I don't like Julian Assange, I'm a veteran. Anomaly, I love Julian Assange, I'm a veteran. Anomaly, I don't think that's true. I don't mind that. But like, when someone's like, Anomaly, you said that, and I didn't even say it, or they're accusing me of like hating a group that I don't hate, that's what like trips me out. Because I'm like, I just said that, and you're like, it's weird, but I'll have to get used to it, because that's just something that happens. If it happens at the highest level of the chairman of the committee hearing, then it's going to happen everywhere. It's like, dude, you're the leader of the chair, and you can't even hear what she said 3 seconds ago. That's legitimately ridiculous. That is life, my brother. I feel you. Thank you, Sandy. I appreciate you. Lou Reed, Stephen Jones, thank you for being here. Christian said you're allowed to be emotional. You're human, or people are nuts. No, I mean, it's all good. Someone said run for Congress. No, I'm going to do my thing in the media and music. Guys, I have the edited version of I Like Trump coming out. They're giving me trouble uploading it, but it's okay. Hi, Carla. Jake said take over California. I'm not really, I think it takes a special type of person to even want to run. Like, and I'm not even knocking it. Like, you got to be strong. I'm strong, but like, dude, I don't have these like, since I don't want power, or like, I want enough money to like do what I want to do. That's my goal. I have no lust for power. There's enough power in what I'm doing already. I just want enough money where I can take a vacation when I want, live somewhere nice, enjoy my life. That like, it takes a certain type of person to be like, I'm running. And someone's got to do it. I'm not knocking it, but I don't think it's me. Like, I'm like, dude, you guys are bugging me out. Yeah, it's all, like, I don't even want to be the head. Like, I want to do well and do stuff, but honestly, I almost feel like eventually I want to get out of the spotlight. I don't even like attention, really. I like doing this, and it's fun. And honestly, this is like actually pretty fun, even though I'm talking to like the text. I like this. It's more authentic, but like, I don't even know that I want to get bigger. Like, it's fun and it's flattering, but like, the bigger you get, the more like Biggie Smalls said, more money, more problems. So it's like more reach, more problems. And it's like, I don't know. I don't want more problems. Have Shapiro on. I don't know if he's gonna. Thank you, Billy. I don't know if he wants to come. Life's a roller coaster, ups and downs and loop-de-loops. For sure. That's why I said it was too good for too long. I was like, something weird's gonna have to happen. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate you, brother. Ashley. It's okay. We'll get it. You need to go back to coffee and water. No, yeah, my diet's been a little worse this last week or two, too, because I was doing the intermittent fasting. I've been working out, too. I'm getting pretty strong. Not like, obviously, I'm not that strong. I'm not like, oh, look how big I am. You could already see it's not huge, but you'll see. I'm actually, I'm way bigger. People always say in person, like, you're taller than I thought you were. And I'm not like weak. I look hella weak because I'm so tall, but I'm really not. I'm strong, but it doesn't matter. I'm just saying. I've been working out a little. Oh, man. You don't want the government and media crawling up your ass? Of course not. I already got called a white nationalist by Daily Mail and USA Today, and I'm not even that big. Like, what? Dude, they're going to try to ruin they've already tried to ruin my life, and I'm not even that big. Like, what are they going to talk to every woman I've ever been with and every person that knows me? I'm going to give you guys an example of how easy it is for somebody to turn against you. Because, like, this allegation thing, I'm not buying any of it. Obviously, there's bad people, but there's a guy, I don't know if it was it Arizona? I'm not sure. He was a Republican, and he was this dude with like 10 siblings. He got 6 of his siblings turned against him. 6 of his siblings made a political ad against their own brother, and I listened to it. It was only because he was conservative and they were liberal, and they didn't like him because he was conservative. Literally. So people say, Anomaly, you don't believe that? There's 3 accusers. Dude, this guy had 6 of his own siblings turn against him. I'm lucky that I have great siblings. Like, my brother's not going to turn against me. My sister's not going to turn against me. I have step siblings. I don't think they're going to turn against me. They're good people. Like, I have a family that loves me, and I hope. Nah, they do. But, you know, like, I don't have siblings that are going to turn against me, but some people do. It's like liberal, conservative. My family, they're not as like political as me, but they kind of get it. Like, you know, in a way, they're not like super into Trump or like this or that. But like, they're like, you know, they're not like Anomalies of like, but some people's siblings do that. So I don't know. That was a wake up call. I was like, this dude, 6 of his imagine 6 or 5 of your siblings making a political ad talking shit on you because you like low taxes. Like, that's some shit. And then they're like, but they made a documentary of 2 accusers. Like, whoa, crazy. Like, I need to see the evidence, because, like, in this world, if you're a Donald Trump or you're me or you're anybody, you think there's not hundreds of people? I've met hundreds of people, thousands of people probably. I've, you know, been with women, okay? I've been single for a bit. I'm not all over the place, but it's like, is it really that hard to get 2 women to be mad at you over something, like an ex or something? Thank you, Carmen. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I try to be considerate, because it's like, karma always comes around, and I'm not perfect at all, but I am considerate, or I try to be considerate, because like, I see how people treat others, and even though I might not like that person, I'm always thinking, what's going to stop that person from turning on me with no evidence? You know, where it's like, if you have evidence and you know them very well, that's one thing, but I see people on Twitter all the time, on the left and the right, just like turning against people and just smearing them in the most horrible way. Even when I critique somebody, I'm always still complimenting them in a fair way, because I mean it. I'm not like, I see all the angles. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, of course I don't want to, why would I want to run for office? They would ruin my life in a month. Like, and I don't have this crazy dark past, but I lived in an era of social media and text messaging and apps, and, you know, like, is it really that hard to get 3 people who've met me to turn against me? No, I could think of 6 friends of mine that I grew up with that are mad at me now because I like Trump, just off that. Like, it's like, they could probably build a Bill Cosby case against me. Like, 30 people don't like Anomaly. Like, okay, is that really, like, I don't know. It's like, at what point is this getting pretty insane? Even with the Biden stuff, it's like, did that dude really think that no one was going to out him? Like, he's like, believe all women. And it's like, dude, you thought that wasn't going to... Justin Trudeau, I love women. I love the Indians. He's like dressed in Indian garb. He's like, look how Indian I am. I'm like, bro, you're next. You're next, bro. Wait, all the women are turning against me? Of course, bro. What did you think was going to happen? I never thought it was going to be me, though. What did you think, dude? You thought you're Justin Trudeau. You probably know tens of thousands of people. You think there's not going to be 100 women mad at you? Idiot. These people are not very smart, man. Someone said Trump is an old school Democrat. Imagine if a real conservative was elected. That's what I said in my debate the other day, where he's like, we're not libertarian now. We're not conservative. I was like, I didn't say we were. Taxes are such a scam. It's not even funny. Like, I'm over like, the amount of money that I have to give to the government makes me sick this year. And I have it because I save, and I don't waste money. I'm very frugal, but I don't save my money to give it to the government. And I can't spend it how I want to spend it. Like, here, let's give it to this school. They're just going to waste my money on war and stupid homeless programs that don't work. It's so obnoxious. We're not even close. I mean, I appreciate what he's done for sure, but it's like, yeah, the way that they're so mad at Trump, they're like, dude, he's crazy far right. I'm like, you think Trump's far right? You're in for a rude awakening. Like, if Rand Paul wins, he's going to, like, delete the feds and, like, make zero taxes. Then they're going to start freaking out. They're, what the heck? It's like, dude, Trump wasn't that far right. Like, he's seriously the most liberal conservative ever in the sense of, like, dude, it could get much worse than Trump. They're going to cry wishing they had Trump back. Like, he's, like, an ex-celebrity builder who has always been socially liberal, always. More socially liberal than Democrats were in the 1990s. And they're complaining about him. This is just basic human nature, though. It's like, dude, if you don't appreciate what you have, if you squander what you have, you're going to lose it. Could you imagine taxes at 90%? No, I could imagine buying a yellow vest, though, and going in the street. Dude, it's insane that, like, people want to raise the taxes. This year, I'm paying, I mean, like, after write-offs and stuff, like 22%, 20, 15, 12, even 12%. That's a lot of, depending how much you make, it's like, do you want to give $3,000 to the government? No. Do you want to give $5,000 to the government? No. Do you want to give $9,000 to the government? No. If you make $100,000 or $200,000, do you want to give $10,000 to $40,000 to the government? No. If you make $1 million, I get it. It's a lot of money. But do you want to give $200,000 to the government? No. No one wants to do this. Like, I don't understand how they don't get that. They're like, no, it's going to go back into program. No, dude, they're stealing your money. If you make money, you should be able to take $200,000 and start a charity or get the option to, like, put it into something that actually helps the community. You shouldn't have to give it to the government. It's too high. I think it should be like 5% taxes. Greece can imagine 80%. Dude, that's why France, they're out in the streets, because they don't have any money, because they're giving it all to the government, and Macron's just sitting on it. I don't know if he's really sitting on it, just to be accurate. Someone said WikiLeaks were dumped. Did they dump more WikiLeaks while I was in here? Someone said people don't understand until they start making money. I don't know. I have friends that make like millions of dollars that are progressive, and I'm just like, why do you want to give 50%? Why do you want to give $500,000 to the government? I'm so confused. What kind of camera do I use? This is an iPhone. This is just like the front of my iPhone. Gas is $3.90 in California. It's insane. Dude, they do everything wrong in California, except for the sun. The sun is awesome. The weather's awesome. The people are actually really great. But, yeah, politics and, like, taxes and gas in California is ridiculous. Someone said I'm in the poverty bracket. Thank you to all who helped my family. All right, Jeff. I mean, my thing is, I wouldn't mind helping. But I don't think my money's going to you. I'd give you my money out of my pocket. That would be cool to me. Give them $100, $200. I'd rather do that than give thousands of dollars to the government so they could start another war and pretend like we're gonna fill the potholes. That's like they're always, we're gonna fill the potholes. Oh yeah, we're gonna vote for this guy. He's gonna fill the potholes and fund the schools. And then the teachers are on strike. Your car's all broken. They're such liars. It's ridiculous. Because no one, that's what I respect about Trump. And I know people are like, well, he doesn't do this and he doesn't do that. But the difference between Trump and these other people is he actually does some things. He's like, I'm going to do that. He did it. I'm going to do that. He did it. To me, that's already 10 times higher than, even if he screws everything else up. These other people take all your money and they say we're going to do this stuff and they never even do it. In California, they took over $1 billion. I don't know how many billions for homelessness, and it's still sitting there. They haven't used it. It's just sitting there. They don't know. They're not giving teachers money. They're not giving cops money. They're not giving, like, it's all a lie. So it's like, I at least respect someone who tells me the truth sometimes. Like, yo, I want to do it. We need more people who just do it. Like, is it really that? If I ran for the mayor of Los Angeles, I don't want to. I could fix things in many areas very quickly. Not because I'm that special, because I'd actually do it. Like, if that was my job and I wanted to do it, I'd do it. I already have a plan. I'm like, I don't want to run, but I'm like, if I did, I would get it done because it would take like a week. It's not that hard. Potholes, fill them. Street, clean it. You know, like, don't allow people to trash it. Like, welcome to my Los Angeles. You're not allowed to throw trash here. You're not allowed to, like, piss on the streets. You're not allowed to just be degenerate in public and just, like do all this creepy stuff. Like, sorry, that's not happening. And I'm sure liberals will get mad, some of them, but a lot of them will be like, hey, thank you. Like, it's actually clean here and fun and safe. And it's like, yeah, that's what happens when someone cares. Someone said, why is Trump to blame at anything? Shouldn't people be mad at our Congress? Congress is a big thing. And that's why the midterms are big. People should definitely vote. So, yeah, I think our biggest problems are Congress for sure. Because a lot of these, like, elite institutions, they make it so they can never pass. Like, it never will pass. Because on both sides, they're sold out where it matters. So it's like, even, I don't want to say, this is maybe not the best example, but it's a decent one. With Herman Cain. You guys know Herman Cain, he ran for president. Trump was going to put him on the Federal Reserve. People might not like it. I think it's great. I'm just guessing, but Herman Cain probably is not an establishment guy. And Herman Cain can probably go in there and audit them and get them running right. Like, he's like an outsider. So they're saying Republicans won't pass Herman Cain. So there's talks that Herman Cain is going to step down because Republicans won't pass him. They're all fake. That's why they want you to talk about Ilhan Omar for 10 months, because it doesn't matter. They're like, Ilhan Omar, and everyone's like, yeah. It's like, guys, all of these Republicans are fake. Trump can't even pass somebody into the Federal Reserve. What do you think's a bigger deal? One Somalian congresswoman who just got there because everybody else in Congress is shitty? She's like Trump. Why did she win? Because everyone else sucks. So people saw her and were like, hey, let's roll the dice. It's really not that complicated, even if you don't like her. Trump can't pass Herman Cain through, not because of Ilhan Omar, because of Republicans. He's not going to be able to take the job because all these Republicans, Mitt Romney's like, I'm Mitt Romney and I lost for president, so I'm going to stop Herman Cain from actually solving things. These people suck. Yeah, dude, Herman in the Federal Reserve, come on, that's legend. Like, Trump's trying. He's like, dude, and then they're like, they're such losers. Why don't you choose the guy from Goldman Sachs to go and do the same thing? It's like, they're all liars. Herman Cain, 2020. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, no, it's annoying that he can't do his job. See, this was fun. I'm glad I didn't get sad and leave. Someone said Mitt Romney's a horse's bleep. That was pretty funny. I'm Republican, but I can't stand me spineless Republicans. No, I know. And I don't know how to, like, wave that around, but here's the thing. I would love to see, on the left, they had Justice Democrats, which is like progressive, Cenk Uyghur, all these people. They pushed people like Ilhan Omar through. Here's what a Republican should do. Not complain and cry about her for a year. Learn a lesson. Why is she there? Because she had a progressive wing outside of the Democrats pushing her in. That's how she got there. Instead of complaining about her, why don't Republicans create a Justice Democrat of Republicans for Rand Paul, like, I'm not saying perfectly like him, but somebody who act like Rand Paul and Tulsi Gabbard. I don't agree with them on everything, but they're actually not horrible people. They actually kind of care. Everyone should be like that. We don't have to agree, but if everyone was like Rand Paul and Tulsi Gabbard, Congress would be epic. Our country would be incredible. But there's only 2 people or 5 people or 10 people or 20 people in Congress who are actually legit. And there's 200 people who are just awful. So that's what we should do. Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's like, even with Trump, like what liberals should be doing, even if they don't like him, is learning why he won. Attacking him is only making him stronger. It's the same with Ilhan Omar. Attacking her is only making her stronger. You got to figure out why she's in there, which is because Congress sucks, and then and because she was pushed by the Justice Democrats, who's run by a bunch of, like, you know, socialist-leaning progressives, and then replicate it for on the libertarian angle. But it's easy to complain. It's hard to do that. That's a hard thing to do. And I don't quite have, I'm not that political as much as I seem like I am. I'm not like, I could get involved in politics, but I honestly, like I said, I want to be on an island. I don't want to be anywhere near politicians, like ever. Unless, I mean, sometimes. Someone said Herman Cain ran in 2012 and he dropped out. Yeah, no, they're about to block him. The fake Republicans are going to block him from the Federal Reserve. It's a shame. So I said, I think some politicians go in and caring what the system wrecks it. For sure. I'm not just blaming people, but it's like, what I'm saying is, yeah, I wish people would, when it comes to Congress, figure out how to get better people in. You know, it's not easy, but that would do wonders. Because, like, they won't even let Trump do half the stuff he wants to do. And they won't let, even if you have a good idea, they'll squat, like, the amount of fake people on both sides in Congress as far as, like, shut it down. It's like, get them out of there. Did you like my Mitt Romney impression before? It was pretty hilarious. Yeah, I saw Chad join. What's up, Chad? I actually mentioned Chad earlier. I said, because someone said, am I going to Texas? I said, I'd love to go. And I said, maybe I might go to talk to Chad sometime. So let me know. Cowboy hats and Texas. I'm on it. Get me on Blaze TV. Tell, what's his name? I almost called him Jeb Bush. That's bad. Oh, Glenn Beck. I said, not Jeb. Just be like, Glenn, I got Anomaly. He's a little wild, but we're gonna get a cowboy hat. We're gonna get it popping. We're gonna make Blaze TV urban. Just tell him that. Be like, he's a rapper. Nah, just fine. Chad's legit, man. Let's see what we're talking about. I was an independent for most of my life, but the Democratic Party's too dangerous now. Yeah, that's my pitch to the left. Everybody I talk to that's a liberal, most of them, I don't really talk to crazy people. But they're not like that. I'm like, guys, stop talking about Trump. Fix this. It's all bad. It's like Tulsi Gabbard, normal, has a soul, seems like pretty, actually, like, has some integrity, and they all suck. Like, dude, it's so embarrassing. It's like Beto is such a loser. He's like, third trimester abortions? Open borders? Yeah, firm, why not? It's like, dude, he's such a cuck. I didn't mean to try not to curse on these things, but it's like the dude is just such, and it's like so lame because I'm not trying to be mean, but he's the cool one. Like, he's like your seventh cool friend. Like, out of your friends, he's like the seventh cool one, but he's like the cool one. They're like, he listens to punk music and he skateboards. It's like, I have 7 friends who skateboard that are 20 times as cool as he is. Like, that's the best you got? I understand if he's there, but they're like, look how cool. Like, he's not that cool, guys. Like, I get it. Like, there's atrazine in the water, but sheesh, the BPAs are taking a toll on plastic bottles. They're getting to us, but yikes. And then you got, like, Bernie, and then you got Klondike Bar, and then you got Eric Swalwell, who, my buddy Joe Biggs, he was saying something about the Second Amendment, and Eric Swalwell was like, yeah, but if the government nuked you, would you really need all those guns? And I was like, bro, what the I won't say the F word, but like, what? Like, he legit said something like that. Like, he was just like, you're not going to stand up against a nuke. And it's like, are you threatening to nuke us? Is that what you're going to, like, obviously we know we're not going to stand up to a nuke. There's no gun owner on the planet that's like, hey, I'm going to beat a nuke with we're just assuming, Eric. We're assuming that you're not going to nuke us. Like, I don't know on what planet the government nukes their own people, but like, yeah, we understand it could get dicey, but like, I don't think the military and the police are going to turn against us, so why would you nuke us, dude? He's like, dude, that dude's a psycho. They're all just crazy. It's like, who else is there? Elizabeth Warren, such a loser. No offense, but like, trying to be like urban or not even urban, that's the wrong word, but she's just like, hey guys, hey, whoa, my husband's in my house. Who would have thought he'd be here? I only married him and signed the lease with him. Hold on, be right back. I'm gonna go get I'm gonna go get a beer because I didn't plan this live stream. Somebody planted it on me, so I had no idea how to self-prepare for where my husband was gonna be in the beer. He's like, it's just like, what? You're not cool. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is like, I called out her whole thing. I figured it out. So her whole thing on Twitter is she'll retweet a Republican who says something that's like not that cool. Like she always finds the dumbest thing that Republicans are saying about her. Usually, sometimes she finds smart ones, but most of the time it's like something I was like, you shouldn't have even said that. She'll find that, and then she'll be like, oh, you think that I'm this, and you can say that as the right wing? Growing up a young Latina in the Bronx, you know, my mommy and papi, and like, it's like, find a conservative who says something that's not that cool, retweet it, say I'm embracing who I am, and then add some sort of Latina reference to it and make like a semi like impressive joke. It's literally, once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's everything she does. Like, it's like someone's like, all right, retweet them, say like do one punchline, and then put in like she's running out of Hispanic terminology. She's like, growing up, my abuela used to make ramen with adobo, and she'd always just put a little extra adobo. You know, because that's what us Hispanics do on the East Coast. And you're just like, me too. My mom always used adobo, even on pizza. That's how Puerto Rican we were. It's like, I get it. And then like she's like, we used to always just speak our language. We're like, dude, all right, she's running out of things. So, and then it's like on Instagram, she's got like the cooking thing. The first 2 times it was cool, but it's like for me, I could cook and talk, but my thought is, I'm gonna like eat when I'm done, you know? Like, it's not like I randomly plan these things like they do, where they're like, oh, I didn't even see you there. I'm just cooking, so this is gonna be tough. Like, they plan all this stuff out. They're like, I'm gonna cook and record myself. It's kind of cool, but it's like getting a little old. Who else do they got? Someone said funny adobo's Filipino. It's true, but I find that Puerto Ricans love adobo. Tell me, who else likes adobo? I just know like my mom used adobo, and all my Puerto Rican friends love adobo. That's all I'm saying. Did anyone else use adobo, or is that not a thing? All right, see you, Jeff. Thank you for being here. Who else is running? I'm losing track of all the losers. Oh yeah, I did cook the one time. Yeah, that was pretty funny. It was gross. I don't know if you guys saw, but I was putting onions in eggs. I had to throw it out after because I was just chopping random stuff and putting it together. Thanks, Rachel. Andrew, email me. I saw your comment. Email me. I can't read up messages all the time. Facebook interrupted the video. It's fine. Who else is running? I don't know. I'm wearing a sun hat. Yeah, I got it in the back. I was told AOC is black now. Well, yeah, you could change races, you know? Mike said I use adobo on everything. It's delicious. It's quite salty, but yeah, adobo's like hot sauce. And I'm not trying to be like a Hillary. I really do like hot sauce. But once you put adobo on things, it's hard to not put adobo on things. It's just like hot sauce. Like, once you start putting hot sauce on, you can't eat without hot sauce. It is a problem. I actually legitimately do think that Hillary Clinton likes hot sauce. I feel like she got a bad rap for that one. I'm just going to say it. I'm not a fan, obviously, but I feel bad almost. I don't feel bad, but like, it's almost like I feel bad for Brian Stelter on CNN. I don't like the dude at all, but like, don't you kind of feel bad for him, or no? Not at all? Like, he's just like, guys, come on, guys. WikiLeaks is bad. And you're just like, oh my goodness, this dude, like, I feel bad because I'm just like, no one likes him. You know, I understand he's doing awful work, but like, I feel awful. Same, like, even Hillary, like, she's done terrible things and needs to be held accountable, but like, I feel like maybe she really did like hot sauce. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. This Caucasian household is adobo friendly too. Yeah, I know. I mean, adobo's in every store, and I guess it's Filipino made. I mean, everybody. I like sriracha the best, and people are like, "You like sriracha? Isn't it Asian?" I was like, "It's good on everything." Someone says I'm gonna identify as a cowboy, a Chinese cowboy transgender. It's a very strong move. It's a very strong move. I predict the Asians having a really good 10 years. So you'll want to get in now while it's hot for sure. So I like the cowboy and the transgender. With the Old Town Road song, I don't know if you guys heard it. I'm gonna take my horse to the Old Town Road. Country's going in. The Asians are always in, let's be honest. The Asians never go out of style. I love my Chinese brothers and sisters. And, trans is really hot right now, so I approve. I don't even use Adobo anymore. I used to, though. Mark Dice's Brian Stelter impression is too funny. I legit feel bad. I legit feel bad. I don't like Brian Stelter, but I'm just like, man. Like, he does sound like Mickey Mouse, and it's just like once you see it, you can't unsee it. Cholula is what we use. Yeah, Cholula is good. I like sriracha and Cholula. My problem with Cholula is I use so much of it. You know what I'm saying? It's a little more expensive. I mean, I'm not gonna beat around the bush if I want it, but like, I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to pull a Hillary once again, but when I buy Cholula, it's gone in like 2 days. Even when I buy sriracha, it goes, but it's a little spicier. Cholula's not that spicy, so it's like, where'd it go? I eat one omelet. I ate half the thing. I like using it at restaurants because it's their Cholula. I'm like, it's not mine. I don't have to pay for it, but is that fair? Calling Asians Chinese is a bit racist. No, I'm not. I was talking about Asians, but the person specifically said, I'm changing to a Chinese transgender cowboy. So I grouped in all Asians just because I felt like it. I was giving props to the whole continent. And then I said specifically, I like Chinese. I know that Asians are not all Chinese, but they said Chinese. That's fake news. You're trying to Brian Stelter me. Anomaly said that all Asians are Chinese. Brian, I didn't say that. You didn't, come on. That's a subpar Brian Stelter impression. It's okay. Michelle Obama 2020. I mean, I hope she doesn't run. She'd probably be the best option out of all of them, to be honest. She'd probably get the most support. What's up, Gary? Thank you guys for staying late. I was having fun, so. Give us an impression of AOC talking Southern Black. I don't want to get banned. No, just Tapatio. Yeah, I'll eat any hot. If there's hot sauce, I'm eating it over no hot sauce, even if it's too hot. But Crystal's hot sauce. Never heard of it. I'll eat any hot sauce. Depending what community I'm in, I'll eat their hot sauce. It's like, vote for me. You guys got the best hot sauce here. And I'll tell everyone. I'll lie to everybody and tell them they got the best hot sauce. Like, when I'm in the hood, I'll be like, your hot sauce is the better here than it was in the last neighborhood I was in. Vote for me. And then I'll go to Texas and I'll be like, howdy, y'all. Y'all got the best hot sauce here. Wow. And then I'll go to the East. I'll go to Boston and be, you're Boston. You get the best hot sauce here. That was awful. All right, I'm done. I'm not good at impressions. I'm okay at some. I'm hit or miss. Today I'm not on, but like sometimes I nail it, and sometimes it's subpar. But sometimes being not that good at it makes it funnier. So it's all good. Sweet Baby Ray's. I mean, now you're talking barbecue sauce. You're opening a whole new can of barbecue. But let's put it this way: if there's Sweet Baby Ray's on the table, I'm not putting it on. Like, I'm not going out and buying it. Just to be honest, but like if someone has it, I'm not putting it on. It's not like I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, no, I'll just eat it raw. I'll just eat it with no sauce. Like, it's not how I operate. I bought this like curry sauce, and like the problem is when I buy sauce, I put it on everything. Like, I made it because I wanted to make turkey curry or chicken curry and like mix it all up with like peppers and onions and like all this stuff, but I just put it on all the food. I'll order delivery food and then I'll put it on the delivery food. That's the problem with sauce. You just put it on everything. Krista said you're pretty good at impressions. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not like Jimmy Fallon level. I'm not gonna brag, but I'm alright. You kind of nailed your Texas accent. Yeah, Thank you. You guys I'm flattered. Yeah, Sweet Baby Ray's is fire. You guys are making me hungry. I'm gonna order food after this or go eat something. Frank's Red Hot Wings. Yeah, I used to eat that when I in college. I used to buy Frank's Red Hot all the time. not to knock it. That sounds like condescending. I'm like, oh yeah, Frank's Red Hots. Yeah, I used to eat that in college, but I've grown up now, and I mainly eat Cholula and sriracha. No, but I did used to. I feel like I have to clarify. I'm like, yeah, I used to do that. I used to eat adobo when I was younger, but now I'm way healthier and I don't touch it at all. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll eat any hot sauce, but it's not my favorite. What does it say? The dominoes are falling. Evanetti, Greg, Craig, Assange. I mean, we'll see what happens, man. And no one ever gets held. Here's my thought. I'm most worried about Assange because it's like with Avenatti, no one ever gets held accountable. Like, I've never seen anyone get held accountable except for the best people. So it's like Julian Assange has a high chance of being held accountable. Avenatti will probably get away scot-free. I hope not, but I mean, actually, I don't wish bad things on Avenatti. I don't even know what he did. I'm confused. Like, it's like he was Stormy Daniels' lawyer. He was gonna run for president, and then he like extorted Nike. Like, I'll leave it up to the judge. I don't care about. I'm not saying I don't care about Nike, but it's like him and Nike beefing. Like, it's like two like mentally ill like bums, like crackheads fighting each other. I'm not like, oh man, I'm really invested in this one. I just walk right by. I'm like, I didn't see nothing. That's how I feel with Avenatti. I'm like, I'm not even. Whatever happens, happens. Kanye 2020, no. Kanye's not coming. When are you gonna pay a visit to Maine? I don't know. If I get booked for like a show or a tour, I'll go there. But I'm not sure. Someone said Assange won't get extradited. Dude, they're already trying to make him sick, and like that's the problem. Like, he needs help. I don't know how to do it. Intermittent fasting level. Did you see the failed Israeli moon landing? No. That makes me feel like, cause I'm so scared. Did you guys see the black hole picture? Dude, that shit was the least convincing. I'm already cursed. I like to curse later in the streams. I'm like, nobody's watching this except for people who really like me. Hopefully older people over the age of 18. But like, dude, the black hole picture, they're like, look at the black hole. And it's like it's like a orange thing that I could make on Photoshop in 30 seconds. It's like lens flare, smear, 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 smear. Everyone's like, whoa, look at the black hole. Dude, I don't believe any of that shit. I'm sorry. That's so... Like, that's your big proof? They're like, guys, we're taking hundreds of billions of taxpayer dollars from you. Well, all right, have we gone back to the moon since 1969? No. But we have... Check out this picture. It's a black hole. Trust me. We're gonna take 50 billion from you next year, and we're gonna take a lot of black hole pictures that look like this. Oh, thank goodness. Thank you so much for this black hole picture. That really, dude, and you look at Neil deGrasse Tyson. Like, I used to like him and Bill Nye back when I wasn't very keen to how fake they were. Dude, he's tweeting this like nihilistic godlessness stuff, which is fine if it was like scientifically backed, but he's like, the universe doesn't care about your feelings or your emotions. It was like this bitter quote of like, no one cares about you in this cold world. And I was like, bro, you're such a shill. It's like nihilistic godlessness agenda of like, you're alone, you don't matter, nothing matters, the planet's going to hell, here's a $50 billion picture of a photoshopped orange lens flare, and wear NASA shirts and watch C-SPAN. And you're like, these people suck. I'm telling you guys, this picture's not real. I mean, maybe it is, but 80% of me, I would say I'm like 90% that's a totally fake picture, and 10% of me is like, yeah, it could be real. Einstein says so? Yeah. All right, if it's a black hole, like, it doesn't make any sense. Dude, none of their stories add up. I'm not a big conspiracy theorist. I don't like to be smeared with that term. But if you listen to NASA, their stories legit don't add up. Like, it's like Trump with Venezuela. I like Trump, but I don't think we care about Venezuela because of communism. Bro, give me a break. Even conservatives are like, we're going to save them. No, we're not. We don't save people. Like, sometimes, but like, we're going there for military and, global reasons. It has nothing to do with helping people get food. It's like, here's some food. Now let's install a puppet president that we can control. They're not going there just to give them food. But same with NASA. Like, I don't care, but just everyone's lying so much, no one knows what to believe. They're like, we could go back, but we lost the technology and it's a painful process to build back. It's like with climate change. NASA's like, it's real, it's super real. And then you read you like go deeper and they're like, well, Antarctica's actually gaining ice this year. It's not melting like we thought it was. And I know that Al Gore said it's going to completely melt by the year 2000, and that never happened. And John Kerry said it would melt by this year, and that never happened. And we said that it was going to melt forever, and it's starting to grow. I understand that nothing adds up, and we'll tell you why. We don't really know. We can't measure the snowfall. We only measure the coastlines, which obviously are mostly melting because it's next to the ocean. That's just basic science of heat. And there's volcanoes under it that we're reporting now, but we don't want people to know about. And of course, it would melt under a volcano. And we don't really understand because the snow falling mixes with the snow on the ground. And we don't know how much snow there is. This is not me saying this stuff. This is NASA on their website. They just assume that people are stupid, and a lot of people are. They're, no, trust me, no, it's climate change. We got to steal all your money, but we're not stealing your money. We got to raise your taxes, but we're not going to raise your taxes. We're going to force you to buy this, but we're not going to force you to buy this. And I'm going to scream at you and pretend like it's not true until you do it. It's like, dude, you're the last person that needs to be taking my money. You're the last person that needs to be making these decisions. I get it. Same with NASA. It's like, I don't know if we went to the moon. I don't know if we didn't go to the moon. I personally am not quite sure that it's even possible, but I'm not trying to seem crazy. But it's like, what's their proof? Like video footage that got taped over from 50 years ago and a black hole picture that cost $1 trillion. Like, dude, it's so ridiculous. That picture is ridiculous. Yeah, you know, I'm not gonna say too much, but you guys know. Someone said, went to Florida to watch the space shuttle launch. It's an amazing experience. Yeah, I would love to go and check it out. Because here's the thing. I'm not crazy. Like, obviously they can launch rockets. Elon Musk is next level. He's hilarious. He can launch rockets. He can land the rockets. They can definitely put stuff up in the air. My question is, how far can they go? And I would have to, like, you know, how far can you go? That's my question. How far can you go? And how far have you gone? That's my two questions, and thanks, Andrew. I see it. Appreciate you. 7 ice ages. Yeah, it's so obvious that like the sun. It's like just so mind-boggling. Like the sun controls the temperature. We can definitely affect it, but it's like if I have, it's like if you think you control the weather, and I own I have a flamethrower that I could literally just set you on fire and just destroy everything at any second. It's like you saying that you have control over me for sure, and it's undebatable. The sun is the flamethrower. Yes, you can do everything under your sun, but there's the sun, there's the ocean, there's volcanoes, and there's not shit you can do about any of them. And at least say that. Climate change is real, but I understand I don't have control of the sun or the volcanoes or the ocean. They don't say that. It's man-made. There's no other explanation. Dude, the sun is the flamethrower. At any second, solar flare. You're all dead. Like, this is obvious. What's up, Jeff? We're getting loco here. Ray said, I want to go to the moon. You could try, but they've been stalling for 60 years now. That's the whole debate. How far can we go up? Yeah. Me personally, I don't think we can go as far as they say that we can. I'm just going to be honest with you guys now. I don't care if people think I'm crazy. My personal thoughts, and I'm not that invested in it because I don't know enough, and you know, I'm not a space expert. I don't think we went to the moon. I don't think you even can go to the moon. I don't think it's something that you can even land on. I have suspicions that it's a light source of some sort. I don't think it's really like a landing thing. And I'm not super convinced, honestly, that we've sent stuff into space. I'm not sure how high we can go up. I don't think we can go as far as they say that we can go. I don't think the sun's as far as they say it is, and I don't think the moon's as far as they say it is. That's what I think. However, you don't have to yell at me. You don't have to call me crazy or dumb, which people try to do. I'm not saying you guys. What you have to do is stop lying all the time. The media has to stop lying, and then it's easy. It's like, here's why you're wrong. But it's like 60 years. They don't go back to the moon. They say we can't go back. Nothing adds up. They have like unconvincing video footage, and then they have a $10 trillion, just like a black hole picture that looks like a lens flare on Photoshop. I'm like, sorry, I'm not convinced. I'm sorry. Someone said Israel just tried and failed. I gotta look that up because it's like if it was fake, then why would they fail? You know what I'm saying? That makes me more suspicious because it's like if it was fake, wouldn't they just say they went if they were in on it and be like, hey, we went to the moon? Unless Israel legitimately didn't know that it was fake and then was like, hey, we're gonna do this too, and then they figured out they couldn't do it when they went to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, why, if it was real or if it was fake, wouldn't they just pretend that they did it? Unless they, maybe Israel, no one told Israel because they're such a new country. You know, like maybe every country knew this like in the 1900s, but they didn't tell Israel in time because they just like made their country. So they were like, guys, we're going to the moon. And then like, it's like Trump. He's like, we're going to build a space force. We're going to the moon. And like, you see Buzz Aldrin's face. Buzz Aldrin's like, it's like, dude, did you guys see that? When it was like, he was like, hey, Buzz Aldrin's here. We're going back to the moon. And like Buzz Aldrin looked at Trump and he was just like, he's like, dude, I got to talk to you after this speech, man. You're getting a little too hyped up. Someone said Netanyahu was there. Yeah, Netanyahu went to the moon, guys. He won the election and he's on the moon right now. Netanyahu's the new leader of Israel. Trust me, guys, AIPAC has no influence on America at all. It's not a foreign lobby, and Netanyahu is currently on the moon giving his speech because he's the new prime minister of Israel again. He won the election this week. So that's why I don't hate on Netanyahu that much, because it's like, I mean, how are you going to hate on a leader who's on the moon right now giving a speech? Like, I'm not going to do that. I didn't plug my phone in, guys. I'm on 10%, so I'm legit going to have to leave now. I made a hilarious joke on Instagram the other day and on my Twitter. I started calling, I'll tell you guys, I was giving new names to Beto O'Rourke, and I was saying how much I supported him. And legit, people thought I was serious, and they were freaking out that I was like not going to support Trump. But I was like, I started it off, and I was like, Rabbi O'Rourke is a really good leader for the Jewish community. I was like, trust me, you're going to want to vote Rabbi O'Rourke in for Israel and the United States. He grew up in the Gaza Strip. Nobody understands Israel-United States relations like Rabbi O'Rourke. And people were like, what? And then I did another one. I was like, Imam O'Rourke is a really good American leader. Growing up as a Muslim in America, he really understands diversity, and he's going to bring all the religions together. I was like, Trump has done a good job, but Imam O'Rourke might get my vote. And people were like freaking out at me. And then I was like, Steve Jobs O'Rourke invented the iPad. He also, brought third trimester abortion to this country. He's a true innovator. It's like, I was like, what other one was there? I said Erykah Badu O'Rourke is a strong leader for the black community in America. Erykah Badu O'Rourke is as urban as it gets, and she's someone who really will bring reparations back to this country. And then there's one I said, Jesus Guadalupe O'Rourke is a true American leader. It's once a lifetime chance to have somebody who's Christian and Mexican running for our president. Trump's done a really good job, but guys, I'm sorry. I think Jesus Guadalupe O'Rourke is going to get my vote. And like, most people were just laughing, but some people were legit like, dude, I hope you're joking. I'm like, guys, his name is not Guadalupe Jesus O'Rourke. It's obviously a joke. He's not Imam O'Rourke. He's not a rabbi. Like, it's just ridiculous that people didn't know I was joking. They're like, dude, you're really going to do this now? Guys, he's not an imam or a rabbi. But I guess I did make it confusing purposely, but I was fun. That was like my favorite little series there. I'll do that more often because I got to be funny now, because like being serious is starting to piss me off. People are like, dude, you're a Zionist. You have too many Zionist friends. I'm like, yeah, guys, I have Jewish friends. They're awesome. I have friends who are pro-Zionist. I have friends who are anti-Zionist. Like, I'm sorry, I don't disown people because they disagree with my foreign policy like that. People, and then they're like, Anomaly, you're anti-Semitic. No, I'm not. I'm just saying something. Like, it's not, I get attacked. That's why I don't even like being serious anymore. People are like, Anomaly, you're standing up for the white race too much. Anomaly, you hate white people. Guys, I'm just going to have to be funny the whole... Someone said Allah O'Rourke. That's hilarious. I'm just going to have to be funny more because I don't think I could be this serious anymore. It's like the Candace Owens thing. It's just watching that was just like, All right, he's the leader of the, like, Candace is a 29-year-old woman who's in Congress for the first time. This guy's the chairman of the whole organization, and he can't even hear what she said 5 seconds ago. Excuse me, we gotta stop you, Candace. You're not allowed to call Ted. You're not allowed to call Ted Lieu stupid. You're not allowed to call a sitting congressman stupid. I never said that. I just said it 5 seconds ago. If you can't tell the truth about something that someone said 5 seconds ago, and there's people like that. I've had debates recently. I mean, people mentioned it earlier, where people are so ridiculous that they like legit don't even care. Like they're not even on this planet. Like I don't care if people disagree with me on policy. I've had debates that, and people are like, Anomaly, you need moderators. I don't need moderators. I need debaters who can debate and not freak out. I've had 20 debates that are fine. I've had 2 that were a little edgy. It's not me. It's not like we're grown men. Do we need a moderator? Do you need a moderator every time you have a conversation with someone? Does Ben Shapiro have a moderator? No, he has people on who actually know how to have conversations. Like these people are like freaking out, but it made me realize it's like there's some people who just don't even, they're not even gonna listen to what you say. Like you'll be like, hey, the sky's blue, and they're like, why would you say the sky's purple, you Trump supporting propagandist? And you're like, dude, it's on camera. I just said 5 seconds ago that the sky was blue. Well, if you think it's purple, then that means that you don't like these people. You're like, dude, what? I don't get it. All right, good night, Devin. And I appreciate you being a top fan, and Jeff, but I guess you're top fans because you guys stayed here. So that's the key. I guess Facebook keeps if you're a supporter, you get the badge all the time. And I love you more because you actually gave me money. I'm just kidding. But seriously, thank you. But if you're a top fan, I don't control that. That's Facebook. So they change it every week or 2 weeks. So sometimes they'll take it away. And then people are like, Anomaly, I see what it is. You don't think I'm a top fan anymore? I'm like, no. That's Facebook. You got to message Mark Zuckerberg. But they do it every week based on something. Thank you, Sammy. Oh, no, I know. It was awful. I'm not even talking about that debate because it's like, it was awful. It's like, and then afterwards, I don't even want to get into it. It's like, I just want to, but afterwards, he's like, Anomaly, you can't get emotional. He's like, I'll teach you how to debate. I'm a top debater. He's like, you shouldn't get emotional. You shouldn't take things personally. I'm like, dude, it's all on video footage, bro. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, some people, that's like, I'm just like, all right, I'm over this. Like, it's you got to be calm, Anomaly, and you can't interrupt people, and you can't get emotional, you can't take things personally. Okay, man, yeah, that's what happened for sure. Yeah, I'll work on that. Yeah, I'll go back to the drawing board. Dear Lord, God bless our souls. It was kind of weird, never got a shout out. Heck yeah, I appreciate it. Devin Hutchins, you get the double shout out. You're a legend. You deserve to. 4% battery O'Rourke. 4% battery O'Rourke. We should do that one time. We should just have people give shout outs and then I'll just make it up as we go along. I legit have 4% now though, but 4% battery O'Rourke is a true American leader, and I'm thinking about voting for him for president. I mean, he's just like you. I mean, he has chargers, he has all the money in the world, but he still chooses to have a flip phone, and it's always on 4%. It doesn't matter how much he charges it. It doesn't matter how important his meeting or his live stream is. His phone is literally always on 4%. It never dies, but it always could. I'm going to have to vote for him. All right, let's get a few O'Rourke's in before I leave. Just give me something O'Rourke and we'll do it. And then I got to run. I guess I could plug my phone in. Thank you, Tony. We'll get like 2 more O'Rourke's and I got to run. Sammy O'Rourke? Why can't... I don't want... but then I'd have to know something about you. I can't make it. Stick a cork in O'Rourke. All right. I'm going to just go. We'll do the O'Rourke thing another time because I don't want my phone to die after I press finish because then it might get hacked. Or, like, it might... Julian Assange might hack it and then, then he's got to get extradited. All right, guys. God bless you. Thank you guys for joining. Appreciate everybody with your supporter badges. You guys are awesome. Thank you for joining. That's a fun thing. Thank you with everyone, the top fan badges and all the other badges. Thank you for the sharer badges and stuff. That's dope. I appreciate people to share. Also, if you don't have a badge, I'm not trying to discriminate against you. I appreciate you. I saw Sammy and Chip. You guys don't have badges. It's okay. I'm not trying to segregate via badge. Thank you guys. And thank you, Caroline. All right. Have a good night, guys.